Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Hi, Tom Martino, your Troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. What's on your mind? How can we help you? How can we change your life? All you have to do is call for help, information, and referrals. Yes, today is a big political day. If you've been watching, it's like the entire country. If you watch cable news or listen to people, you would figure out that the entire country is waiting for this testimony. And everyone was there with bated breath. If you're one of them, I guess you're not listening. If you want to hear all that political stuff, you can do that on our sister station. If you want to get help, information, referrals, if you want to figure out what's going on in your life and get some help, give us a call. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Welcome to the show. Today we're going to talk a little bit about roofing. We can talk about anything else that you want. Roofing, meaning that if you have a problem with hail damage, you can call about roofing. I have Jay Bretz with me from Excel Roofing. Roofing is the #1 complaint I get these days because of hail damage. Here is the typical complaint. Someone knocked on the door, said, you have to sign this paper for us to look at your roof. They say to the person, we can fix it. We'll do anything the insurance company wants. Don't worry, you don't have to pay anything except your deductible. And in some cases, they even tell people you don't have to pay your deductible. Just, we'll be back. We'll take the first insurance check, and they take the money, or the person already has an insurance check, or the person simply writes cash or writes a check, and they leave. They don't come back, and that's it. That's basically the scenario that I run into 80% of the time when it comes to roofing. They knock on the door, and they say, in order for us to look at your roof, you have to sign this. That is not true. You do not have to sign anything for someone to look at your roof. And you should never sign anything until you are presented with a full and complete contract with prices and materials, and you make a decision if that's the best deal for you. Do I have that about right, Jay?
You're spot on, Tom. What I would add to that is never sign anything unless you're positive that person right in front of you is the one you want to do the work, because they'll give you all sorts of stories and different things. Well, sign this so I can meet with your adjuster. Different stories like that. Never sign anything until you're positive that the person in front of you is who you want to put that roof on.
And I will tell you that most of the time, when people sign you at the door, they don't even do the work. What they do is sell the contract to someone else. They literally sell the contract to someone else. 303-713-TALK. What's going on with you, Todd?
Hey, I wanted to give a shout-out to a couple companies on your referral list.
What happened? What? Tell me. Who are they?
K&H Home Solutions put on some gutters for me last summer.
Good.
And they turned out beautiful and very structurally sound.
Structurally sound and good,
Yes.
beautiful. Good. I'm glad you like it. What else?
Hey, and then I got another one. Mike's Garage Door. Don from Mike's Garage Door came out and changed the springs on my garage door.
From Mike's or Don's Garage Doors?
Mike's.
Mike's Garage Doors. Okay. So it was Don from Mike's Garage Doors.
Correct.
Right. I got you. And so I'm glad that you have had good service. We love that. We love hearing about it, Todd. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You know, I have heard from more than one person, like Todd, who they've been happy, and they've gone to Yelp to put up a good review, and the good review is not posted. I'm not talking about bad reviews. I'm talking about good reviews. And the company goes and logs on and finds out that there's 10 or 12 good reviews, but they're not posted. They call Yelp and say, why aren't these good reviews posted? They're all from different IPs. They're all from different people. They appear to be genuine. Why are you not posting them? and Yelp says it's at our discretion. What does that mean? Have you had that happen?
Oh, absolutely. We've gone
Good
rounds
reviews. Why don't they post them?
What Yelp says is that they weight every review based on the amount of reviews that that person has posted in the past.
What does that mean?
If it's a new user, somebody just signed up with Yelp, maybe they have 3 to 5 reviews, those reviews, the good ones, will get buried. You will not see them. But if it's
Why? Because they don't believe them?
I guess so. I guess that's what Yelp thinks. But if there's a Yelp user that has 20 or more reviews, usually all of those reviews will be posted all of the time.
Then how do you get 20 or more if they don't post you to begin with?
You need to be working with people like yourself that you've done 20 or more reviews. It can be for restaurants. It can be
No,
for
what
all
I
the
mean
different
is
things.
that what if a person loves you, but they've never reviewed before, but you've inspired them to want to say something good.
There's a good chance that Yelp review is not going to show up.
Well, how did they ever put up a first review?
Well, after
If they require that you have reviews in order to post a review, how do you ever post a first review?
Well, you post it, but then it just gets buried. It doesn't show up. But this is what I think happens, Tom. If you post a bad review, I think that those get posted all the time. So I think the likelihood of a negative review showing up on Yelp is much greater than a positive review for somebody that has not done very many posts.
That's not fair.
I know it's not fair.
Wow.
You can tell it kind of touched a nerve with me.
303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Mark called us with a landscaping issue. And he said he didn't think he got his money's worth. It all came down to that, Mark. How much had you paid? 16 grand or something?
Yes, it started out at 10, and then there was two $3,000 draws, so we paid a total of $16,000 so far.
And he even wants more money, right?
Well, that's what it sounded like. I'd never heard that before he was on your show.
So you paid 16 grand. He did a retaining wall, is that right?
Yeah, he did it. As I was looking at it the other day, it doesn't go all the way across the yard like it was supposed to, so it's not completed. But it looks like the construction of what he did is okay. It looks like it should last.
Okay, so you have a retaining wall. What did he not do?
Well, there was supposed to be a flower bed near the house out of the same rock as the retaining wall in the front yard. We were supposed to have plants planted in the top part where the retaining wall goes.
And what was the name of this landscaper?
This was Stone Falls Custom Masonry and Landscaping.
Now, he came on the air and basically said that he did more than $16,000. He kept quoting us about all the parts he bought and all the materials he bought and, you know, hey, dude, I paid this and I paid that and I'm owed this and I'm owed that. And he was very adamant. He wouldn't stop talking about how much you tried to screw him. And he was basically at Stone Falls Landscaping, he was saying how much he did. And so I wanted to send an expert out there to look at it, somebody I know and trust. So let's talk to them. I sent Bob out for Mr. Green Jeans. Bob?
How you doing, Tom?
Good. What was this job like? Was it $16,000 worth of work? Was it good work? Can you give us an idea?
Oh, boy, Tom, this was an interesting one.
Okay.
I went out there, and he is correct. There is about a 10 to 15-foot retaining wall. I feel that was done fairly well.
Okay.
There's not a problem with that. But the scope of the rest of the job, I understand he was supposed to get a new sprinkler system. To me, it looks like he's trying to put this together, utilizing the old system. Some of the work he's done, for me to come in and rebid it, I'm actually going to have to come in and redo some of this because it's been so long. The weeds have overtaken the yard again just from being a year and a half when this started.
But the work that he did do on the sprinkler system, did he lay new pipe?
No. I mean, he might have laid about a 10 or 20-foot stretch, maybe in the front. Can't see underground, but the rest of it, he's trying to button up this landscape, and it makes no sense because the sprinkler has to go in first. So for me to come in and redo this, I'm going to unbutton a few things he already did, and he would have to do the same if his intentions were to do a brand new system.
If you look at the work that was done, in a weird way, I don't want you to look at what has to be undone, but just the work that was done properly, does it equal 16 grand?
No, sir. if I was to walk onto the property, you know, say a month after he had started this, I looked at it, I measured out what he brought in for rock, for edging and things, and the labor he put into it. There was about $3,000 to $4,000 worth of value what he did.
Okay.
But by him putting this project off so long, it was just shoddy work, because the rock work that he did, it's only been a year and a half, and the weeds are already coming through it. The weeds are knee-high in the backyard. So I would have to reduplicate a lot of this work he's already done.
Like, what would you have to redo?
I feel the rock work in the back and front was done shoddy enough. I would actually scrape it off and start over.
Not the retaining wall. You're talking about rock work.
Right. He did some perimeter rock work in the back.
Okay. And he didn't put down barrier or what?
He did, but it was done so shoddy and there's so many holes in it that the weeds are coming up everywhere, and they shouldn't come up in a year or so after you do a brand new landscape. So
okay.
I would basically come in and redo whatever he's done except for that retaining wall.
So it looks like Mark was correct. He has about $4,000 in work. I really appreciate Mr. Green Jeans. He's on the referral list, has been there for years at 303-426-4945. Mr. Green Jeans, listen, Mark, I know this guy was adamant that he said he did great work, and he wanted another $2,000. As I remember, he wanted $18,000 total. Right, Dan?
Yeah, that's right. And then I think he also said he wasn't a weed picker.
No, he was a real jerk. I know he was. Yeah. So the full name of this, Mark, because we need to now take the next step. It was Stone Falls, what?
Custom Masonry and Landscaping.
Okay, Custom Masonry, that's right. Well, it sounds like he's doing lousy work is what he's doing. So we're going to have to take it to the next level. We got more coming up.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center. There's a whole mess of crashes causing messes throughout the metro area. Call him back.
I'm such a smartass. I would have to say, that's the first time we've heard that. Nobody's ever told us that one before. We're going to back off. Really? You're a lawyer? Oh, no. Can you get Mark there and ask him for Stonefall? We got to try to call Stonefall and see if they'll come on accident westbound I-76.
Hey, Tom, if you want to lighten the load a little bit throughout the day, just go for it.
Forecast. Afternoon thunderstorms today, a high of 87. Right now, partly sunny and 66.
Oh, yeah, you got everyone here.
Weather, I'm Keith Wagner. 6:30, K-How.
This report is brought to you by Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs? Discover Student Loans is one of the top private student loan lenders in the country with great rates, 0 fees. Plus, students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply.
And then, healthy cereal. Are you done with Bob?
I'm going to go back and talk about
Okay, so we'll try to get hold of.
Morning, Williams family.
Mommy, who is that?
I'm the guy who's going to take this box of cereal and switch it with this box of cereal.
Grainberry with onyx sorghum.
What's onyx sorghum?
Great question.
Hey, Jay, were you okay with this banner, the way I had it here? I don't know if you can...
Yeah, of course I liked it. Okay, I saw it. Yeah, right away. I thought that was very funny.
You know, if you have any... I have a frog that's like standing up. Do you have one of those frogs standing up with his thumbs up? Like a...
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we got that one.
Do you? Mm-hmm. Because I have, just like say, you know, I know you like that picture there, just one of the frog is...
Yeah, we mixed it up with some different ones. I think that'd be good.
Okay, great. That's what I'd like to do too.
Because I love your frog.
Yeah, he's a great visual. Oh, I think it's a great visual.
Tom wonders what the heck a frog has to do with roofing.
You're right, right. But I think it's something that I think that just sticks out and stuff. I like the frog.
Just like the Geico.
No, I thought it's like the Geico salamander. I think you have the Geico one.
It's just like having a fish as the troubleshooter logo,
Yeah, but
right?
Geico stands for GEI something.
Government insurance.
General Electric Insurance Company.
But it's a Geico versus a gecko. So it's not this,
But it's similar enough. Yeah, there's a closer tie.
But there's no Excel tree frog. I mean, it's like...
It's because, but that's, I've explained it to him before, but like 5 years ago when we came up with the frog, we were doing a lot of recycling of the roofs. We would take the asphalt roofs and recycle them, they'd make roads out of them. And we were doing a lot more attic insulation, so it was the whole green aspect of it. So and that tied much better to that. Right, Tom?
It's like the genie for price fixer. It has nothing to do with that, but it kind of stands out. The genie, the little price fixer.
Yes, the genie that makes prices go down.
Is that how it's supposed to?
Well, what did a mouse have to do with an amusement park?
Well, he's the Mickey Mouse was his first character.
I mean, it became ubiquitous with it, right?
Well, that was his first character. It was his first
cartoon. What do you think would be better, a talking shingle? I've seen people use a dog.
I don't know.
Roof kind of thing.
I don't know.
Saturday morning, 7 o'clock. Talk Radio 630
We'll
help you.
I'm Tom Martino for Ideal Home Loans. They have the rate guarantee. If
I'm not saying it's bad. I just don't see a connection of any kind.
You're right. There's not a good direct connection. Kids love it though. And you'll be pulled up in an intersection and you'll see kids like beating on their mom's shoulder, pointing at it. It's fun.
Then I think you should fight with the Geico salamander.
That would be funny. I never thought about that. And
having trouble with Geico insurance?
We're willing to go to battle with your insurance company. You have to frog in the Geico fighting. That would be
I think it's good. I don't know.
I'm going to need you to do something for me in a minute here. I'll give you instructions in a second in my car.
Call today for a free checkup. 303-988-2558. That's 303-988-2558 or concretedr.com.
I gotta set the table. Pull up a chair, sit at the table today at 1. Eat it. I don't mind eating peas if it meant getting the country backdoor balance budget.
You can spare her for a few minutes, right?
I'll eat my peas on Denver's Talk Station.
I gotta put a note in my car to take medicine in the morning. I keep it in my car.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Let's solve some problems, answer some questions, take some complaints. You know, we have Jay Brett's with us. He's with Excel Roofing. The big thing about roofing that I have, the big bugaboo I have, the biggest one is the lack of a contract or a suitable contract or what I call a blank contract. I'm just sick and tired of roofers not filling out a contract. Now, let's go back to this landscaping thing. It's pretty clear to me, I really trust Mr. Green Jeans. And basically, he's saying this guy got about $3 or $4 grand worth of work and he paid about 16. Now, with an expert saying that, I'm telling you, Mark, I don't think you're going to have a big deal getting this back. We need to do something about it. Now, unfortunately, you're going to have to be suing for like 11 or 12 grand. It's beyond small claims court.
Right.
We should call him and let him. I want to know if he wants to come on and refute what we just heard, because he was adamant that he put in $18,000 worth of work.
And I knew he was going to say that from the very beginning. He said it from the beginning.
What's the guy's name at Stone Falls Custom Masonry and Landscaping? What was his name?
Ryan Napples.
Ryan or Brian?
Ryan with an R.
Ryan Napples.
Yes.
Yeah, he wasn't a very pleasant fellow. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. Here's what you need to do, by the way. You have this expert here. Now what you need to do is you need to sue the guy. I mean, you really do. And you have to go to county court.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't go to small claims court.
Right. And that's where I'm kind of stuck. I don't know how to do these things.
Okay. Yes, Daff. I can't hear you.
Allie just spoke with Ryan, and he said if we try to call him again, it will be harassment and to contact his lawyer.
Okay, give us his lawyer's name, for God's sakes. How do we contact a lawyer? We don't know his name.
We will get that.
So call him back and ask for his lawyer's name. He asked, so listen, Mark, what number do you have for him? I want to make sure we have the right number. What number do you have for Stone Falls Landscaping or Custom Masonry? What number do you have?
I have 720-429-4646.
Okay, so he considers phone calls harassment. That's unusual. So listen, Mr. Ryan Napples, Mr. Ryan, Stone Falls Landscaping, Stone Falls Custom Masonry, you suck. If you want to give us your attorney's name, we'd be happy to talk to him, but you don't have an attorney. You know what? Because you're a liar, in my opinion. You said you did $18,000 worth of work. There's not $18,000 worth of work. I would avoid this number. I would avoid calling it. 720-429-4646. You get a guy like this on the job, and then he walks away and says you harass him if you call him. And yet he's got $16,000 of this guy's money. And by the way, it's partly your fault for giving him all this money, Mark. I can't believe with all this, why would you give him $16,000? Why did you keep paying the guy?
Well, it was, again, a friend of a friend of a friend thing, and he was a young guy trying to get his business or keep his business going. He already had a crew that he was trying to pay, and we felt compelled to help him by selling him a job at our house. And we told him if he did a great job, we'd be glad for him to take pictures and advertise with it and do whatever he could to make his life and his work better.
I want to make clear, he did a retaining wall, and his job's not bad. So he did a decent retaining wall. Stone Falls, custom masonry and landscaping. But the other work is not good and has to be redone. This man did not get $16,000 worth of work. Now, when we try to call Stone Falls Custom Masonry and Landscaping at 720-429-4646, he says, stop calling me. It's harassment. Call my attorney. But he doesn't give us his attorney's name. So how the hell can we call him? Yes.
He says that his attorney is out of town and he will not give us her name.
Okay. What a phony. What a freaking phony. My God. Well, then we have no choice but to call him. We'll call him back. And when is he going to let us know when his attorney's around? You know what? You need to sue him, Mark, and we're going to help you. We're going to get you in touch with someone. We got to go after this guy. He also could be in violation of the Contractors Trust Act. He took $16,000 and didn't put it all toward this job. He'd have to prove he spent $16,000 on this job. He didn't spend $16,000 on this job. Stone Falls Custom Masonry and Landscaping. Unbelievable. What a terrible, terrible business attitude. Call my attorney, but you can't have her number. She's out of town. Ryan Nipple. Ryan. Or Napple. He sounds like a baby, though, Ryan Nipple. 720-429-4646. Shouldn't be in business, sir. Tell your attorney I said that. I will be happy to talk to your attorney. I haven't had a good fight in a long time. I love eating up attorneys, chewing them up, and spitting them out. I love doing that. It's one of my favorite hobbies.
He said he's also going to call 9 News.
Oh, good. Jeez. That would be wonderful. Call everyone. Call everyone, Ryan. Everyone you want, okay? We've been through this dance. Let me explain how it goes. You get upset and you get angry because you're doing the wrong thing and you were caught and you're a scumbag. Then you threaten with an attorney. Oh, next one, you threaten me. And then you go, you're gonna attack me and my person. Good. We're used to that. Go ahead. You know, I've been here 38 years. People have been doing it. I'm still on the air, right? Still doing what I do. So keep doing it, because apparently all the attempts to bring me down have not worked. So keep doing it. I only keep getting better. So Mark, tell everyone. Call 9 News. I'll give you the number, and I'll tell you who to talk to over there. Call all the stations, all right? Do it. I love publicity. And then also, call your attorney. Call 3 or 4 attorneys, all right? And then I come after you for attorney's fees. So don't call this number if you see it, because I believe you should avoid this company. All this guy has to do is the right thing. He took $16,000 and did not finish the job. Stone Falls Custom Masonry and Landscaping. Ryan Nipple. 720-429-4646. The Big Nipple. 720-429-4646. Tell your attorney off. In fact, record this whole thing. Hello, Miss Attorney. I'm Tom Martino. I invite you to email me please. And then it's live at troubleshooter.com. We'll get the email. And then you make your threats too, okay? Because you'd have to prove that I am going after this man and I'm intentionally lying with malice in my heart. And there is no socially redeeming purpose to this whatsoever. Okay, why don't you do that? And then he can spend his $16,000 that he got defending himself. You see, what you're going to learn, Mark, is I don't scare and I don't go away, you freaking scumbag piece of garbage. I can't believe a company would take $16,000. Mark, I hope you learned a lesson. Now, what does this friend of a friend of a friend say about this guy, this Ryan Nipple? What do they say about him?
She doesn't have much to do with them anymore. She sent them a message, said you really shouldn't do that to these people. They're good people.
How old is Ryan Nipple? How old is this Ryan Nipple?
I would say he's in his early 40s or late 30s.
Yeah, okay. He hasn't learned how to run a business, that's for sure. He just knows how to make threats. Has he threatened you yet?
No, he says that, though, that my wife and I are intimidating and he's afraid to come to our house.
No, well, he doesn't have to come to your house. He just mails the money to you. Listen, we're going to go after him. He's going to see his first lawsuit in business. Okay, so let's just put this, mark this as a follow-up. We're going to consult an attorney, go after this guy for the Contractors Trust Act. I am sick and tired of you scumbags taking advantage of people and thinking you can get away with it. I am sick and tired of it. So threaten me all you want. Please do it. Do it. I love it. Threaten me. Go ahead. What were you going to say, Jay?
Mark, this is Jay from Excel Roofing, the owner, and if Ryan's out there listening, Ryan, just go fix the problem. Make life easy. Pay somebody else to go fix the problem. Get it done.
That would be the right thing.
Just get it done. You're going to go through so much heartache, and you're going to pay all these attorney fees, and you're going to waste so much time. Don't do it. Just go fix the problem.
You'll be brought down. You'll be brought down, Mark. Stone Falls Custom Masonry and Landscaping will be brought down because you know why? Even people that don't like me, do not want people like you taking money and doing nothing. Or I shouldn't say nothing. You did do a retaining wall that was decent, but doing work for about $4,000 and keeping 16, the math does not add up. It doesn't add up.
That's the dumb part. He'll spend so much time and effort with attorneys and everything else.
I go through this with you.
Just go
freaking.
It's just the bad publicity. I have to lose 2 jobs.
My briefcase downstairs. He can't find the keys.
Who knows how many jobs he's losing?
But they're in it. And I'll tell you
that. It makes it is hard on someone when they know this is out there and stuff, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
But what he had said, you know, because he had left a job and the weeds started growing up. Then he told the owner and stuff, hey, I'm not a weed picker. Well, he left the job and allowed him to, you know, to grow on up there.
Yeah. Why make a big deal out of weeds? What are we talking? Half an hour, 45 minutes of work?
I don't know how much it is, but they could have just hit it with Roundup too and then come back.
Go mow them down. Go do something. Get out there and fix the work. Be done with it.
You know, Jay, you're one of the few, I think, that really looks at this and says, just like, you know, Al from Al Rounds and that, really, you know, all those, Jeff from Kimmer, they just said, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it?
Especially, unless you're just the guy's so over the top.
Well, even when they're over the top, then you have to look at the big picture. Okay, I'll lose a battle along the way to win the war. If I'm going to lose a battle every now and then, okay, it happens. Even if I think I'm completely wrong and the homeowner's, or if I think the homeowner's wrong and I'm right, you know what? I'll lose a battle along the way. Let's just move on.
Yeah, I guess the only thing that I hate that is I think it gives some consumers, hey, that's what I can do all the time.
Oh yeah, they're out there. Yeah, they're out there. I won't mention it right now when I'm on camera, but you know who you are, that defense attorney, big defense attorney in town.
He doesn't have a pot to piss in, but he's going to sue.
Yeah, how's he going to get his attorney fees?
The only time people have done that is when an attorney thinks they can shake them.
You know what I'm saying? No.
And then they learn in a hurry it's not going to happen.
What attorney's going to touch it without getting a big retainer up front? Because they know what a screwball he is.
Well,
that or they know the chances of.
I've had attorneys come after me
who thought they could get me on contingency, and they thought that I was going to settle, and they found out in a hurry, boy, we start going to deposition, this is going to trial. They back out so fast.
Because they see what a hassle it's going to be.
Well, they see that I'm in the right. I mean, I'm not going to be an idiot.
Are you done with Mark for now?
Why not make money with those skills? Can you mow a yard, clean a house, hang a flat screen TV?
That guy's been there for a year and a half now, and weeds in his yard.
Make sure we revisit this, though, so make sure you have the information and we revisit this. I got to revisit with an attorney.
He shouldn't have waited a year or a year and a half or whatever to start getting more estimates. He should have had, you're right, he should have 2 or 3 written estimates saying, this is the value of the work done, this is what it would take to get the whole job completed, because that way he would have the information he needed for court.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I know Mr. Green Jeans, he's been on the list for years. That guy's wrestling.
And make great money.
They've unreasonably stocked this third hour. This is freaking ridiculous.
Today. I don't get it. There's like no rhyme or reason to like Mondays and Tuesdays were bad, and then all of a sudden today it's ridiculous.
Be a tackle provider now at tackle.com. That's TAKL.
But you know how sales is. They don't give a crap what it sounds like.
It's hard to know what's up with your identity if you only get part of the story. Of course.
It's It's ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
That's the most I think I've seen. It's a record.
Monitoring your credit to protect you from identity theft.
Maybe Martino nonstop.
You might detect credit.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get some
You
of
could
this
miss
stuff.
threats like
Do you want me to do one or two?
or a new loan in your name. Or that your personal info is for sale on the dark web.
Put you on.
Particular red flag. Bad. Why not get a more
I could do Rockies.
to help protect your identity? With
Probably
LifeLock,
could.
you detect a range of identity threats.
Pet friendly, family friendly, you need to go here.
To fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions.
You're right about that one too. I remember driving by that place 25 years ago. It was just a little lot, looked like all those small lots you see up and down Broadway, and now it's a giant place. That guy runs a good business.
LifeLock.com and enter promo code LifeLock. That's promo code LifeLock. LifeLock. More detection, more protection.
Finding great people to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's time to try ZipRecruiter, where 80% of jobs...
We're going to go to Honduras next week,
just one day.
on Tuesday.
Using powerful technology.
You ever heard of Roatan?
Your job to the right candidates fast.
You gonna go dive?
Companies might deliver a lot of pay.
Lois and I might. The kids aren't certified, so we didn't do anything on that. But we'll do a lot of snorkeling, a lot of beach time.
.com/talk radio for your free trial.
Honduras, so,
You never end up on the mainland of Central America. The plane lands right on the island.
Okay.
You ever heard of Roatan?
I haven't. So is that
Ideal Home Loans for your next Ideal Home Loan, 303-867-7000. Now, I tell you about Ideal because they have different programs for different people. They have credit optimization, which can get you lower pricing, even if you're approved. They tweak your credit legally, ethically, and quickly. They also have custom term loans. They have a rate guarantee. If you free finance and rates go down, they do it free of charge. And then they have pre-approvals, which is like a cash deal when you're going out to buy. 303-867-7000, idealhomeloans.com. And when we're talking about loans, I want to bring out the reverse loan option. Now, remember, reverse loans are only for very few people. Now, I don't mean that as a bad thing. When they work great for people 62 or older with equity to get money to live on. ApprovalReverse.com is the only company I trust to tell you the truth about them, though, because Joan Sullivan and her team will not slam you into one. ApprovalReverse.com. 303-771-3528. Okay, so really, we're going to keep going, okay? But the bottom line is that I am tired of these guys threatening us. They just called us off the air again. Ryan Nipple called me and said he's drawing up a lawsuit right now. All right, Mark, go ahead. Ryan, go ahead and do it. We're on Mark's side. We're going to help Mark collect from you. You go ahead and do it, Ryan. You go. 303-713-TALK. Let's keep going. Tom, what's going on with you? Hello, Tom.
Hi, good morning, Tom. I'm a general contractor, and I did some work for a customer and didn't get full payment.
Okay, why?
Well, it's a municipality. It's a community pool in Greenwood Village, and we remodeled the locker rooms, the boys' locker room and the girls'
who did you contract with?
I contracted with the board of the municipality.
Was it the city or was it a district?
It's a district.
A recreation district?
That's correct.
Okay, and why didn't you get full payment?
Well, the agreement was a time and materials job. It was based on an estimate that I gave them during the past winter.
Okay.
I gave them some budgetary numbers, and then we went in around January, February, firmed up those numbers.
Well, where did they come up with the amount they paid you?
Well, they just decided that since we went over and our estimates, that they decided they were not going to pay the full amount.
How much did they pay, and where did they come up with the number? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I don't know. They did some spreadsheet. It's supposed to be a time and materials job based on estimates I gave them. The estimate was about $43,000 to do the job. We ended up around $59,000.
Well, that's way off. I mean, I would be upset too. I mean, that's way off. If you said time and materials $59,000, how much did they pay you? 43?
No.
How much did they pay you?
The total that they say, they send me a letter.
No, just listen. I need to know how much they paid you first.
Okay. So far, they've paid me about $38,000.
Only Are they going to pay you 43?
They are offering to pay me another $4,900.
So what will that bring it up to? Do me a favor.
That brings it up to about $43,000.
Okay, they're willing to pay the 43 based on your estimate, and I would say, I got to tell you something. Okay, I don't know how you came up with 59 when you did.
Well, that includes materials that they have purchased too. So that's the whole job.
No, but I'm asking you, why did you bill them for material they bought?
I did not.
Well,
I'm just saying, our whole scope of the job.
I want to know, what did you charge them? What did you charge them? In the end, what did you charge them?
I charged them about 40. Let's see, there's an additional $5,000 that's due, so it would be close to $48,000.
So, you charged them 48, but you estimated 43. But now, on top of that 48, did they have to spend an additional 5? Were they always going to spend money on their own, even at the 43 level?
No.
See, I can't get, that's why you're not telling me a straight story, Tom. I need to know the actual difference in this job. So you said it was 59. So they bought some stuff themselves that you would have purchased.
Correct.
Okay, so had you done the job as estimated, it would have been 43, and they would not have spent a dime.
Well, no, that's not the way I would look at it.
When you originally estimated it, Tom, when you originally estimated it at 43, were they obligated to buy anything?
No, that was including time and material.
Okay, at 43. And you're saying it turned out to be 59 because they had to buy materials, plus you went over.
Why.
Huh?
The reason it went 59 is because the scope changed along the way. They added some things, and also I just underestimated how much time it would cost.
Okay, Tom, how much time did you underestimate? Tell me the time, the part you underestimated. How much time?
In terms of hours, I have no idea.
Okay, well, I can't help you. You can't even tell me how much you underestimated, so I can't tell you. You need to just get an attorney, Tom. This is not something we handle. It's just not something we handle. Because really what's happening is you have a discrepancy, but you can't even say what you estimated. That's an easy question. How much time did you estimate, and how much time did you not account for? So I can't help you. I really can't. I can't go after a government for payment to a contractor. That's way too complicated. It's not a normal consumer problem. I'd love to help you, but unless you have... See, you'd have to come up with this. I said it would take 20 hours or whatever, and it actually took 28, and here is why, and then you just concentrate on the 8 hours. But right now, you're not talking to me specifically enough for me to be able to help. Brett, what's happening with you? Hello, Brett. What's going on? Brett.
Hey, Mr. Tom. How are you?
Good, man. What's going on?
Not much. I just wanted to give a shout-out to Scott over there at A1 Budget Transmission.
Really? What happened? What did you do?
Well,
what did you do?
My wife's car crapped out on us, and we took it to him. He kept it. I mean, he worked on it solid for probably 2 days. That turned out to be a bad motor that he couldn't fix. We didn't want to put the money in the car. He didn't charge us a dime. He took the car out where I could pick it up with a trailer.
Wow.
Because I had to go after hours. He just really professional and just a really all-around
What nice people. They could have charged you, but then they found out it was a bad engine, and they said, look, just come and pick it up?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Well, that you know what? Thank you very much, Brett, for telling us. Budget A1 Transmission and Auto Repair. They're good people. 303-781-9858. 303-781-9858. Good people. Okay, Adam wants to talk about Excel lines. Adam?
Hey, Tom.
What does Excel say about the lines?
I've got a neighbor right across the street. He's got a power line that it's going right through his trees.
Yeah.
And 3 or 4 times...
They'll come. Now, they require that he cut down the trees. Or, excuse me, trim the trees.
They don't have a subcontractor that does that for them?
I don't know, actually. I believe that you're required to keep the trees trimmed. I don't believe it's their responsibility. I know that we've handled this in the past. You know what? Let me call them and find out. Let's call Excel. We have somebody there we can talk to. But I do believe that's your responsibility if there's a power line, because it's kind of an easement. And that easement is their thing. John Fuller, Fuller Law, is a personal injury attorney, and whether you have a personal injury from Fort Collins to Colorado Springs, you can depend on John Fuller to do the job right. He is an attorney I hope you never need, but if you're injured, you want to know what the case is worth, where you can collect, and what areas of law come into play, John Fuller can tell you. His website is personalinjuryco.com. Listen, whenever you're injured, trust me, the insurance company is not going to voluntarily pay you for anything if it's the other side. You need to get help. 303-597-4500, personalinjuryco.com.
There's a few slow spots to watch out for if you drive across town. Of course, on the south end, the ramp from eastbound C-470 to Wadsworth remains closed. Police are investigating that earlier serious auto bicycle accident on Wadsworth. It's closed to Deer Trail as well, so just be aware of that. You'll have to just get with as an alternate route. And getting reports of police activity westbound I-70 at Vasquez. That's causing some delays along that stretch. The weather forecast. Afternoon thunderstorms today with a high near 87 tonight.
So this last snowstorm in Lakewood really puts you, snowstorm, hailstorm,
right now, partly sunny skies in Denver.
strapped you guys, or
we'll be busy from that hailstorm for the next year and a half.
Really? That's some big stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest hailstorms to ever hit Denver in terms of dollars, and yeah, it's
because I mean that really big hail that
big hail.
started leaks.
A lot of times we have to go and prove hail damage to adjusters. On this particular storm, just right in the main swath of it, I mean, it's just no question. It's just a matter of how much.
I know they said that what was the name of
I was in worse shape when I was
mall up there.
Why? Because
I always forget the name of that mall.
Hey, listen,
was
budget.
That's the real culprit. And one of the major building blocks, the hormones that help you with all others.
That thing's been hurt.
Yeah, that mall's closed for 6 months.
Natural way of doing it.
6 months. Plus, they had a lot of the inventory in there.
Did you see any of the footage?
I did.
Oh, you should go to YouTube and look. You just look up Hailstorm 2017.
I love this.
Oh, what the heck is the name of it? It'll come to me in a second. Yeah, they were showing it. Something wood, isn't it? It was literally raining inside.
BioT Medical.
And one of the guys on our floor, again, a member of Genesis, I think, put a bit in there to put foam over the wood to cover it up so they wouldn't have any more rain coming in. And they didn't take it, and then rained again a few days later.
Talk about cutting back your mortgage term or lowering your interest.
You know, one thing they do for mitigation is you can go inside and you can hang tarps from the ceilings. You make an upside down tent.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
And then it droops in the center, and you have a collector bucket or barrel or something like that.
And even save tens of thousands of dollars in interest.
Oh, yeah, can you imagine all the clothes and stuff? What is it wood? Something wood? It'll come in a second inside.
It can be a much better
Because
deal.
it's fair new mall. Yeah, it is.
No matter where your interest rates go.
That sounds expensive, but it's, you know, the car dealership, Stevenson, they probably had more dollars in damage there.
I heard they're starting to have to build tents over their cars and stuff, over where they park their.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Because of the liability is getting so much on that stuff, for insurance. And like I say, you get this big enough now, that paintless dent, a cheaper way to do it, it doesn't really, you can get it out without seeing, but you get.
Sometimes, but when the hail's big enough, I hear
You start creasing it.
you have to cut the top off of the car and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was I think, hail damage here in Colorado.
So when are you leaving Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Do you have the kids this weekend?
We're up in Winter
You always
Park.
have the kids, but I thought are down here.
No, we're going to be up in Winter Park this weekend.
Doing what?
There's a bike race up there on Saturday, and then Sunday, Duke is supposed to be the flag bearer at a church ceremony. His Boy Scout troop. So he's going to do that. Today's their last day of school. They go to school a little bit longer up there than down here.
Sure do.
They only go 4 days a week there, Dan. They go Monday through Thursday.
Oh, is this Gilpin County?
It's Grand County.
Okay, Gilpin,
Winter
that's
Park.
the same thing.
Terms, conditions, and quality standards.
Do they go skiing on Fridays in the wintertime then?
They kind of got tired of it, so.
For a limited time, just go to mypillow.com.
So the family will be moving back. And Lois, she likes.
What do you mean?
I got some new furniture for the formal dining room.
They're going to be moving back to the
Yeah, they'll be back here.
Promo code SKY.
Things like
That's
that.
in your house, not up there.
635-125.
Look what I put in my formal dining room last night.
Oh, right. Ping pong. I love ping pong. You play ping pong too, right, Tom? We should have a ping pong tournament.
Ping pong party tournament. You bet.
The company would be required under federal law to report that request. Join me at 4 o'clock for your record.
Are you sending the kids to any camps or anything?
I just want to answer this email about the name of the treatment I'm going through for tinnitus. It comes from Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center, but it's called the Syncra. What it is you wear this headset and it has this proprietary program that's programmed specifically for your tinnitus. It's not something that can be shared. So they identify your tinnitus and then program this iPod for certain signals, audio signals that are fed into your head, and they disrupt this sound at the brain level over time. And then it eradicates tinnitus. It's a wonderful therapy. It's called the Syncra. Now, they'll let you try it out to see if it's for you. They let you try it out, I think, up to 8 weeks. Now, they also let you try out hearing aids if you have a hearing problem for, like, I think 2 weeks. So you got to call them for tinnitus or for hearing loss. It's really it's a wonderful place. Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center, 303-534-0163, 303-534-0163. Okay, let's talk to Charles. What's happening? I have Excel Roofing with us, too, if you want to talk roofing, and Jay chimes in from time to time anyway. What's going on, Charles?
I have a retail installment sales contract with Larry H. Miller.
You mean you bought a car?
Right. And they gave me 0084. And
wait. I don't know what you're saying. They gave you, what do you mean 0084?
0 down, 0% interest for 84.
Oh, okay. 0 down, 0%, and 84 months?
Yes.
My God. Wait. 84 months without interest?
Yes.
That's incredible. I want that deal.
Yeah, so do I, but they don't want to give it to me.
Oh.
Now they want me to come back in and sign it.
Wait a minute, Charles. Wait a minute. What do you mean they don't want to give it to you? Do you have it in writing?
Yes, I have the contract right in my hand.
And why do they say they can't give it to you?
Well, basically because my credit rating.
Oh, well, okay. Well, of course. I mean, all contracts are subject to credit. I mean, did you take the car with you?
I'm in the car right now.
How long have you had the car?
I've had the car since the 27th. Well, the 29th exactly. I signed the contract on the 27th of May.
Wait a minute.
10 days.
When did they let you know? How long did it take them to let you know?
Well, actually, a couple of days afterwards, they sent me to Navy Federal, who had the who owned the interest in the other car that I traded in.
They sent you to what?
Navy Federal Credit Union.
Yeah. Did are they going to give your trade back?
I haven't talked to them in the last couple of days.
But did they say they want to undo the deal? Is that how what they said? They have to undo the deal?
They want me to come back in and sign a 17% interest.
No, no, you just undo the deal. They can't make you take another deal.
Right. So undo the deal and give them the car back.
Of course. If they can't,
Right.
if they can't finance you as promised, they have to undo the deal. What are they saying? That you have to take the 17%? They're full of crap.
No, they want the car back, but I mean, I've had it over 10 days, you know.
So? What does that mean?
I was just trying to see if I had some legal.
You could. It depends, Charles, on how that contract is written. If it's written there, I don't want to get too complicated, but let me put it this way. There are some retail installment contracts written in such a way that the dealer actually makes themselves the lender. Okay? And they actually release the car being the lender. And then they try to get you to come back and undo it, but technically you don't have to in some cases, depending on how it's written. Now, the dealer will argue, oh no, it says here that this contract is subject to approval. And then you make the argument, well, wait a minute. I think the approval is when you signed the contract and handed me the keys. I was approved. I was approved by the dealer. And the dealer is the lender. But I don't know if they put themselves down as the lender or not. I'm not sure how your paperwork is written. I'd have to see it.
The only other the other thing is the financial officer that signed the deal is no longer there. Almost seems like
doesn't matter.
Okay.
That doesn't matter. Listen, if you can get me a copy of that contract, I can look at it or have an attorney look at it. But right now, it could be one of two things. Okay. Either they put themselves down as the lender, and whether they like it or not, they're the lender. Okay?
Okay.
They're the lender.
I took it.
And then they have to honor that deal. Or it could be that it was subject to being sold and subject to financing, and you agreed to bring it back if they can't do it. And unless we see it, I can't tell you, Charles, okay? I can't tell you. So you'd have to, I don't know, Daphne, see if you can get a copy in or something. Get me a copy of that contract. I'm Troubleshooter Tom Martino, 303-713-TALK. We have a lot more to go. Stick around on the Troubleshooter Show.
You can take the kids anywhere this summer?
I'm the guy who's going to take your
What's that?
You can take them anywhere? Do you have camps? What do you got going for them?
A bunch of different things. I'm going to take them on a trip. They're just getting back from Mexico right now.
Where'd they go?
I don't know. They went with their mom.
Probably Riviera or something.
They were in Mexico for like 10 days.
Ideal Home Loans has a program to fit you. They can help you with that consolidation.
We worked with a customer recently who called. They wanted to consolidate their bills. We were able to do that. They were saving a grand total of $1,100 a month. We showed them how to take $600 of that, apply back towards their new mortgage. They are going to be completely debt-free, mortgage and all, in just over 12 years.
You got any kids, Dan?
Yeah.
I've never heard you talk about it.
Yeah, no,
What are they?
I got two stepdaughters that are 27.
For terms and conditions,
Bill 87.
is Denver's
27 and 20.
with Martino
One married and both really great girls. And that's fun. We're going to go see us this fall.
A 27-year-old?
No, my son, 19.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he was going to Metro for 2 years.
Okay.
So that's,
Intelligence Committee. Comey was asked
but
by
they,
Marco Rubio
the girls are just
why he didn't tell him
super
it's
good.
inappropriate.
Good for you. Yeah, I've got an older boy also. He's 29.
Are there differences between girls and boys? Because I see there is.
I've got all boys. I don't know.
You got all boys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the younger guys are 10 and 12 right now. The kids are the same age as Tom's. And then the older guy. So it's
not to publicly say that Trump himself wasn't being
I think it's been easier. Logistically, just clothes and sporting equipment and stuff like that makes it easier.
Yeah. If they stay with that.
You're right.
You know, that's
yeah, because the 10-year-old doesn't. He's not nearly as athletic as the older one.
You live up in the mountains and you live in Grand County? You said?
I have a townhome up in Winter
Oh,
Park.
gotcha. Okay.
But I live over in Morrison.
Okay.
Actually in the King Carroll Valley.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a nice place.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm right up on the foothills.
Gotcha.
Got a bunch of mountain biking trails in back of me.
That's what it's the hog back.
Yeah, I'm in between the hogback.
Okay.
I was out biking the other night and I saw a big bear.
Really?
Yeah. You don't really think that the wildlife is that close, but it is. We've got there's a bunch of mountain lions. I mean, just when you look that way and you see red rocks, there's bears, lions, there's bobcats over there.
Bobcats not big, but mountain lions?
They're land sharks. They jump on you from a tree. And,
The mountain lion.
yeah, and grab the back of your neck.
The mountain lion.
Mountain lion.
The bobcats don't.
They'll do that to a man?
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez, yeah. Mountain lion are
I mean,
I'm scared of them.
really only if it's like an older cat or they're hurt and they're desperate for food. If it's a normal cat, they won't do that. And especially around that King Carroll Valley, there's so many deer that it's they have no problem finding food. Because of that reason, I think that the lion population has overlapped, and it's much bigger than it probably was maybe, who knows, 50, 75 years ago. Actually, about 50 years ago, lions were more or less hunted to extinction along with
Oh, they were, right, because of cattle and everything.
So they've repopulated, and in the repopulation, their ranges are much smaller just because of development.
And I got a cabin in Gilpin County, they always talk about any mountain lion sites, you know, because like say you have joggers, whatever, and stuff, I mean, they can't do it. We just had a lady up there 2 years ago killed by a moose.
Really? I didn't hear about that. What part of Gilpin County?
I'm right 3 miles from Black Hawk.
Okay.
Yeah, but she was
Are you in
going
Coal
on.
Creek Canyon or something?
No, not quite that far and stuff. A little development called Missouri Lakes.
Okay.
Right across from the school. I'm not sure if you know
I
Gilpin
know,
County.
yeah, I drive that peak-to-peak highway every now and then.
Oh,
so
okay, okay.
I know where that school is. That school's right on the peak-to-peak
So
highway.
right across the road, there's a little lake there and stuff, but they, she had her dogs out there, and the dogs spooked the moose, and she tried to, you know, she stomped, the moose came around and stomped her.
Did she have a calf with her? Does anybody know?
They didn't say anything about a calf.
Because that's when a mama moose gets really dangerous. If they have a calf, as soon as you see him, you should turn around. I encounter them on my snowmobiles. They will charge you if you're on a snow with them.
That's a big animal. I see more moose in my yard than I see deer.
I believe it.
I don't know why. You know,
It's amazing. You know those moose were reintroduced to Rocky Mountain National Park?
Really?
Yeah, so any moose that you see in Colorado originally started in Rocky Mountain National Park.
And where do they migrate?
And they just keep working their way south. I think they're all the way down by Wolf Creek now, really far south. You know what's really interesting about that is wolves. There was a wolf that was killed on I-70 right in Idaho Springs.
So what's strange about that?
It had a tag on it from Yellowstone. It made its way all the way down from Yellowstone. This was, I forget, like 5 or 6 years ago. Isn't that amazing? That a lone wolf can come all the way from Yellowstone. They think that there's wolves around Steamboat. They really haven't confirmed it.
That's PricePicture.com. Thank you. Price is guaranteed.
Installed with a tier 1.
And they start, I think they give 50 moose hunting permits out a year in Colorado. And I think that started about 5 years ago or something. I'm not a hunter.
I'm not a hunter either. I just couldn't drop a moose. I couldn't do it. Right? Unless my family had kill a moose, shoot a moose, a bear.
Don't know what I do without anything. Like you said, unless which is keeping your home in.
Just need to be hungrier.
Visit us online.
A lot of meat there.
I killed the pack rats around my house.
Most guys will say they go it's cheaper for them to go to the super.
Stuff like up in Alaska, where they're sure to moose, they're sure to elk, they fill their freezers up there.
But it is a good thing that there's hunters, because right now the deer population is higher now than it's ever been, and it's because we've eliminated all the
credit you, and if you don't get rid of that, now you got disease, white, and everything else rest up.
Answer a few simple questions, and we build you the most comfortable mattress.
When I'm up in Winter Park, I see a deer every now and then, and if it sees me, it takes off. Around my house, sometimes you'll see herds. I mean, herds of like 15 or 20, especially in the fall, and they just hang out.
I know.
It's unnaturally, I mean, the population's unnaturally low. Every now and then we see some elk, usually in the fall. These big daddies, they come down like these 7 points.
This is the Troubleshooter Show.
Help! I need somebody.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you
Hi,
can.
Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Here to help you solve problems, to answer questions, to take complaints, to make your life a little easier. We have Jay Bretz with us from Excel Roofing, and we are talking about roofing, and we're talking about roofing scams, we're talking about roofing problems, and as I said, the biggest problem, I feel, are empty contracts, blank contracts, where a roofer says, don't worry, we'll do whatever the insurance company wants. And again, if you don't see the obvious problem with that, because if they get together with an insurance adjuster, they decide, hey, we're going to pay for this, this, and this, and the roofer says, okay, you never know if that's truly what you need or if you need more than that, because some roofers won't fight with an insurance company. I also recommend that you always make a settlement with your insurance company and then double check with a public adjuster, because, and we have Freddie on the site, Colorado, I believe it's Colorado Claims Consultants, at no extra charge, not a dime out of pocket, after you make your claim. Just say, hey, can you find me something extra? And if he can, that's you only pay a small fee on that amount. Yeah, so anyway, just protect yourself. Jay, when it comes to insurance companies, really, we talk about conflicts, but how many times actually, percentage-wise, do you have a conflict with what you recommend and what the insurance company wants to pay for? What percentage of the time?
It varies, I would say, somewhere around 75% of the time. And it is a pretty
Wait. 75% of the time you have to argue?
Not necessarily argue, but what we go out and we estimate needs to be done is different from what the insurance settlement is.
About 75% of the time.
So what we will do is we'll write up the bid, we'll go to Xactimate, which is the software that insurance adjusters use, and we come up with the number that we think that the homeowner should be getting. And then we will send this information to the insurance company, and most of the time they'll go ahead and approve it, and it's a go deal. That's why people should not sign these contracts like you're talking about that aren't fully... They don't have all of the information.
No, don't sign the contracts that say, I'll do whatever your insurance company wants.
Correct.
That's not the kind of roofer you want. You do not want a roofer who's going to do what your insurance company wants. You want a roofer who will do what you need. Okay, renewal by Anderson. Is there a problem there, Betty?
Yeah, hi.
What's the problem?
My problem is that I entered into a contract with Renewal by Anderson for a couple of windows.
How many windows? 2?
2, only 2 small ones, or not very long.
Okay.
And I entered into the contract on the 25th, and...
the 25th of what?
May.
Okay.
And on the 27th, I received a hard copy. On the 2nd, after reviewing, I asked for additional breakdown of the figures, and on the 3rd, I received a copy of the installment loan agreement from the mortgage company, which
Why were you taking a loan out for 2 windows?
Because I can't afford to pay for it in full.
How much?
43. Well, it was 43. Let's see.
What do you mean 43? Huh?
It was 45.78.
Wait. $4,500 for 2 windows?
Yes.
What? What kind of windows are they? Gold? Solid gold? Yeah. With diamond panes? What? Wait.
Well,
4,500.
They do have a fine product. And
Wait. 2 windows for $4,500?
Yeah.
What size?
You want a size? It was 2 bedroom windows. One was 58 wide by, both of them, 58 wide by 60 high.
There's what? 58 wide. So that's 4 feet or 5 feet Why? So they're big. They're not open windows. They're fixed lights. Are they fixed windows?
No, they
Wait.
slide.
50. Am I seeing this right? They're 5 feet
Yes.
by 6 feet, or no? Wait. 58 and 60. That's about the same. So 60. So basically, we're talking about a big window. We're talking about 5 by 5.
Right around 5 by 5. That's still really expensive.
No, of course it is.
Really
5 by
expensive.
5. 2 5 by 5 windows.
Right.
So that's 20. That's 50 square feet of window, basically.
Betty, this is Jay with Excel. Are they wood windows, vinyl? What kind of window material are they
This is
using?
the Anderson product, and
Well, anyway, Betty, did you shop anywhere else?
No.
Well, you should have.
I know I should have.
This is the most ridiculous price I've ever seen for 2 windows.
Yeah, I've been going through some trauma because I just lost my little pet. He died in my arms on Sunday.
Oh, that's too bad.
And I just, I didn't get around to doing anything. And, I have to say the salesman was very nice. And
Of course he's nice. You're putting his kids through college. I want to know something, though. Where do we stand with this, Betty? Why are you calling us? Did you change your mind?
I tried to rescind the contract, and he said I didn't do it in time.
Okay, so Betty, how old are you?
87.
So here's what I want to ask you, and I'm wondering if you are feisty enough to do this. If you cancel that contract and they say you didn't do it in time, what did they say they're going to do to you?
He didn't.
Well, they're not going to do anything. You're 87. What can they do to you?
But he had already.
What can they do to you?
He had already withdrawn from the installment loan. He had already withdrawn $2,000, half of it.
Wait a minute. Where'd you get the loan? Wait, you got a loan on your house for this?
Not on my house. It was just a mortgage.
Oh, good.
It was a loan.
Good.
Installment loan.
So don't pay it. Just tell them you refuse to pay. You're not going to do it.
Well,
listen, Betty, I mean, this is the only thing I can tell you. They can't do anything to you. Even if they got a judgment against you, big deal. You're 87 years old. Is your house paid for?
Yes, my house is paid for.
How much is your house worth?
About $230,000.
Do you think they would foreclose on your house? I doubt it. You have a certain amount of homestead exemption. Listen, all I'm saying is this. If I were you, I would call them once again and say, put that money back. I'm not doing it. I don't care what you say. If you want, we'll make the phone call for you. And I'd like to know what they're going to do to you at 87 years old.
I would like for you to do it. I don't, I got into it.
How are you going to make the payments on the loan?
Well, it was a loan for 10 years, and I said, well, how about if I pay it off in 5?
Why? Listen, why? Oh, God.
So they were charging me. When I got the loan documents, they were charging me $2,000 or almost $2,000 in interest.
What percentage is it, the loan?
699.
699. These guys are charlatans, in my opinion. This sucks. This sucks.
I know.
Will somebody call Renewal by Anderson and ask them to please undo this deal just because it's nice? Not for any other reason. There's an 87-year-old woman who wants to get out of this contract. I can't believe this. You know what? I'd like to fight this for you, but I don't, like I said, I don't know if you're feisty enough because I'd like to play some hardball here.
I'm pretty feisty.
All right. You're pretty feisty. Okay, good. Hold on. Get her information. Get her information. Call Renewal. Daphne, I want you to henpeck him to death. First of all, she's 87. She didn't know what she was doing. She gets a 6.9% loan. $4,500 for 2 windows? Come on. $4,500 Renewal by Anderson? $4,500 for 2 windows? Why are you saying yes, Jay?
Just because I know about Renewal by Anderson.
What do you know about them?
Just I know how much they charge. I've talked to them in the past because the problem that we have in these hail damage areas.
I don't think they'd be able to pee. Their zipper's probably too high. Everything's high. I don't know.
I've talked to these guys and I ask them, how much do you charge to go out and repair a couple of the windows that you've installed? And they tell me they won't repair them, that they have to just replace them. And they've told me these numbers before, and I've been astounded. It's too much. It's way too much.
Is this real? There is 45. Is she reading that wrong? $4,500.
I'm sure she's right, Tom.
I want to ask them if that's what their windows cost. 258 by 60 windows, $4,500. Holy crap!
I have the media relations phone number. We'll give them a call.
I don't want media. I want to talk. Okay, call media relations. Just tell them the woman wants out of the contract for no other reason. She made a mistake. She's 87 years old and she made a mistake. It's way too much money, and she's getting a 6.99% loan, and it sucks. Why am I getting upset? I get so freaking upset.
Because that's just not right what they're doing to her. 87 years
That's my
old.
opinion.
It's just not right.
Oh, my goodness. By the way, if you want granite in your home, I like to say this, from Fort Collins to Colorado Springs and the mountain communities, Art of Granite. Mitch Floria will do the job right. I'm telling you, I love representing good companies. Trust me. Compared to what I hear on this show, man, Art of Granite is a great company. If you need kitchen countertops, he doesn't even upsell the granite or the stone. You buy it on his wholesale account anywhere or from him. He only charges for fabrication and installation. He tears out and hauls away all the old stuff free. Whatever you do in the kitchen, he'll do in the bathroom free. That's right. And he has countertops, and he also has beautiful cabinets. Give him a call, 303-386-5919. As I said, he serves the entire mountain community. He also is open 7 days a week, 303-386-5919, artofgranite.net.
This report is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Trouble spots, a couple on the west side of town.
When I saw that renewal by Anderson, I don't know why I didn't click. I should have told you. Those guys, they charge so much.
But they got pretty good warranty too, though, right? 20-year warranty?
Who cares?
Right, but
you know how often you need a warranty on a window?
Really?
And then you know what they do? They prorate it out.
Oh, okay.
They say this window's supposed to last 20 years. We're 15 years into a 20-year window.
So we pay 25% of it.
And then what they do is they pay for just the window. Even if it is a true warranty, they'll say this is the cost of the window. We're not going to do the labor.
With your traffic and weather,
yeah, the warranties are.
Okay.
But Renewal by Anderson, they saw the market for the new windows, and so they wanted to get in on the cash. So Renewal by Anderson, you can't even go buy those windows at Home Depot or whatever. You can buy some really nice windows at Home Depot, but you cannot get you can get Anderson windows, but Renewal by Anderson, they say, well, this is our own special window that only we can install. And what they do is they say, we build it, we install it, we guarantee it, so it's bulletproof. If anything ever goes wrong, it's our fault because we did everything.
So is that like a sister company of Anderson?
Yes, absolutely.
So
sure
if you don't have a problem with Anderson windows, you have a problem with Renewal by Anderson.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-oh, somebody's saying your remarks about renewal are wrong. We'll see.
Damn it, George.
And the product that you want. 303-630-9204. 303-630-9204. Paradigm Interiors on my referral list at referralist.com.
The key to success? Keep it simple, especially when it comes to hiring. And nobody makes it easier than Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes.
Joel's going to have on.
Manage your candidates from one dashboard. According to an independent study, 5 times more hires are made through Indeed than any other.
So where'd you put your ping pong table in? Your dining room?
In the formal dining room area.
So what is it? You put it on top of? Is that on top of like?
No, I just moved some other furniture out of there.
Okay.
There was like a love seat and a chair and a little table. It's kind of like a tea room.
I think for the boys and stuff, because that's great hand-eye coordination.
Oh yeah. And the 10-year-old loves that stuff. The 10-year-old's not so athletic. It's hard to get him to go bike or do things.
I love him.
But he loves ping pong. And he's so smart.
I love your son.
You should see Duke now. He's into ants. Like entomology.
We got an ant farm then?
Oh, he'll tell you all about it for half an hour, and you'll think that you're talking to a scientist at certain points. And it's like, where'd you learn this? Oh,
your son, you're Henry, man. God, he loves cars.
Oh my gosh.
He's a freak.
I need to take him to Vegas or one of these places where we can rent Maseratis. No, not. I need to rent him a Ferrari.
I never took him in my
We never
Ferrari.
rent him a Ferrari. We need to.
I got rid of it.
I know. We need to. I don't know. Can you take one for a test drive?
Well, test drive is tough, right? Don't you gotta?
God, he'd love that.
A new test drive for Ferrari. What do they make you do?
Nothing. Not because I own one.
He would like that better.
I've owned two.
He'd like that better than riding in the helicopter. And he knows about him. I mean, he doesn't know everything about him, but he can sit there and carry. We went to the car show, and he can sit there and carry on a conversation with the rep. An intelligent conversation, one where I'm sitting there just kind of watching the ping pong go back and forth. Wow, I had no idea.
There's a place in Austin, Texas. I know I had a friend that went down. They had a deal. You could rent like 3 different cars, like a Corvette, a Maserati, whatever. And you get to drive each one for, you know, I don't know if it's a full day or whatever. Stuff, but
yeah.
Oh, that would be. I mean, he would like something like that.
Yeah, we've got we did a bid at a charity event. We've got a Maserati lined up for the weekend, so we'll do that.
Okay. How old is he? How old is your son that likes cars?
He's the 12-year-old.
Oh, okay.
He's the really athletic guy.
Okay, so he won't be going driving.
He loves to bike. He's a really good skier.
I don't know which one of you dirt bikes tried to shoot me.
On Denver's Talk Station.
No, I'm not paranoid at all.
630
Not at all.
You know, a lot of people are spending money needlessly for straight teeth. Aurora Orthodontics and TMJ. Now listen, here's what I love about Dr. Kent Lawson. He has 2 practices, one for adults, and he can do straightening of the teeth by widening the palate naturally without any surgeries. Yes, he's proven it. And then you only need braces for a short amount of time, and he can do it all naturally. And it's a fraction of the cost of veneers. Veneers can be 50 or 60 grand. And this other process, it's more natural. It takes longer. Of course, veneers can be done in a few days, but this will also correct your mouth, your bite, and your jaw, so TMJ goes away. Also, all the, like if you have a sleep apnea due to your mouth, your jaw, just call them and find out. The whole process will take up to 2 years only. 303-690-0100, 690-0100. Then ask about NEO, New Orthodontics. It's NEO, New Early Orthodontics for Kids. With kids, they can even do better. They have these mouthpieces, these soft mouthpieces they wear, and over time it straightens their teeth before they even get to the age of braces. And when they're at the age of braces, they hardly need them at all. It's unbelievable. 303-690-0100. And then for the, okay, let's talk about, George has a comment, wants to respond to me because I was talking about renewal. I was taken aback by this contract for $4,500 for 2 windows to this 87-year-old woman. I'm not suggesting anything's illegal. I'm just thinking it's really expensive. And go ahead, George.
Well, you're correct. It sounds, from what we know right now, very, very high price. But I'm calling you out, Tom.
You always call me out, George. Go ahead.
No, I don't. I provide valuable information.
Go ahead.
You know that. The calling out has to do with you regularly on your show state
You're right.
You don't care that contractors what they charge.
No, I never said that. No, I never said I don't care. No, George, you got to quote me correctly.
Oh, come on.
George,
you want me to have to quote you on it? I'm not going to quote you on it.
Can I tell you what I said? Let me tell you what I said. That I don't control prices nor concern myself with prices when it comes to products and services because...
And you're doing that now.
No, I'm not.
You're doing that now. You're concerning yourself.
Here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying.
You said you do not concern yourself with
Here's what I mean. When somebody puts in, George, when somebody puts in a furnace and somebody says, I paid this much money, or they do this, or they do that, and they agree to this contract, I often say, look, if they're doing a legit job, you got to shop around. If you agree to the price, I can't tell someone what to charge, okay? Now, in this particular case, this woman said that she changed her mind. She made a mistake. She paid $4,500. She's 87, and you're right. I don't think that I can control that price, but I will say this. If it was someone on my referral list, I don't care who it was. If I was told someone was charged 2 windows, $4,500, I would come unglued and I would absolutely do something about it. Because while you're right, I can't concern myself with prices, I often accompany with that conversation something I call unconscionability. And that is, unless it's unconscionable. I think, in my own personal opinion, it's not a legal opinion, I think this is unconscionable.
Okay. You're trying to have it both ways.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not. No, there are expensive. Listen, if she spent a lot of money, I think $1,000 a window, $1,200 a window is expensive. If she spent even $1,500 a window, it would be outrageous. But I wouldn't say anything. I'd say, you know what, $3,000. Yeah, you could have gotten it cheaper. But we're talking about $4,500 for 2 windows. I don't have it both ways. I don't have it both ways, George. I often get upset with people who gouge people.
I am not arguing that it is very high price.
You're saying I'm being inconsistent. I know what you're saying.
You're being inconsistent.
I don't think I am.
You have not said, for instance, now, I would not suggest that you're inconsistent if you say, you know what, I'm not going to concern myself with prices unless it's price gouging by the legal terms, or that it's, I don't know, 30%, 40%, whatever percent you say. I don't
have that.
In the area.
Well, George, I will be honest with you. I do not have a set price in my head, but I do know gouging. Listen, I had somebody one time on a referral list that charged $900 for a toilet, okay, to replace a toilet. And I thought it was outrageous. Outrageous. That's what I thought. I thought it was outrageous. But they did it, okay? And I thought it was outrageous, and we had... No, excuse me. It wasn't. No, sorry. It wasn't $900. No. It was $3,000 for a toilet. That's what it was. We parted company. I said, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And I said, even... And the $900 had to do with something else. He said that's how much the toilet cost. But I still thought $3,000 was absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But you're right, George. What I say is, I don't control prices on my referral list. I don't. There are roofers that are more expensive than others, okay? But there is still something that would get me going, and that's if it's what I call unconscionable. I don't have a percentage, George. I don't. You got me on that. I don't have a magic number. I just go by feel. I mean, I don't know how to say it. I just go by feel. Like, for example, I think it has to do with the industry, George, if I had to. For example, in the industry, furnaces are going to cost $6,000 to $8,000. That's expensive because furnaces themselves you can buy for $1,200. You can have them installed for $400 or $500. You can look at a furnace with a small guy in a truck and probably get one for about $2,000. Now, do they have all the warranties? Will they stand by the work? No, they're one job away from bankruptcy, but you can get it done. Then you can get them done for about 3 or 4, and then you get them done for 5 or 6 or 6 to 8. The industry dictates that. Okay, that's the industry. So I'm thinking if somebody said they spent $15,000, then I would think that was unconscionable because the industry standards. So I think in the window industry, the most I've ever seen with windows is about $1,500 per window. And that's outrageous, I think. But that is acceptable. It's the industry. So if I had to answer you, I think what I do is look for things that are, even though I don't like it, they're within industry standards or within industry culture. Does that make sense to you, Jay? I'm saying that even though I think $6,000 is expensive for a furnace, that's what a lot of them are charging, and it seems to be the trend. But when somebody then goes to $15,000, that's a little different. That's weird.
You're exactly right, on point with that, Tom, because that smaller guy, he might be one job away from bankruptcy. And that smaller guy is also probably going to need all of the money up front. And then you're depending on him.
I'll bet you there's not a roofer, there's not one guy that couldn't do it cheaper than you. I'll bet you there are a lot of guys that can do it cheaper than you.
That's right. But are they going to be around in 10 years? Are they going to be around in 20 years?
Or will they say, I won't take a dime until it's completely done and you're absolutely satisfied? No, they won't. Here's the other thing. I just feel that when you have an industry standard and somebody is way outside that standard, in my opinion, that's where I get upset. Michael's got a comment. Go ahead, Michael.
Yes, I had a quote from Anderson, and it was for about 22 windows. About 15 of them were 3 foot by 6 foot, and they wanted $55,000.
Holy crap. Holy crap.
I told him no.
Holy God. I mean, geez. So you had 22 windows, and they were 55 grand.
Yep.
Divided by, you know, I understand they have a fine product, by the way, but so that's an average of 2,500 a window. Now, Michael, I feel that's too much. That's my opinion. Okay.
Oh, I do too.
No. So, but they were right in line with her, weren't they, on those 2 windows? They're right in line with their pricing.
Yep.
So,
Michael, this is Jay with Excel. Did you get a quote on any sliding glass doors from them?
No.
Okay, because they're going to be the same kind of deal, 2 or 3 times what you'd normally pay.
God, are they just proud of their name? I mean, is that what it is? 303-713-8255. By the way, One Clear Choice Garage Doors, I love these guys. Do you know what they do? They'll go out to your garage. Now they're not cheap, by the way, but you know what they do? On their website, oneclearchoicestores.com, they put their prices up. Clearly, so you can see them, because they want to be your garage door company, and they don't mind. And they also go out and do free inspection, safety tune-ups, hinge tightening, safety adjustments free, so they put their sticker on there. OneClearChoiceDoors.com, 303-565-6409. Now listen, if I get this question again, I'm going to explode, but I have to tell you, okay, it's just... BioT is, you don't go to a BioT clinic. They are BioT doctors. They're affiliated. They're independent doctors. I'm just answering an email. Now, BioT is wonderful. They don't have clinics like you see these testosterone clinics, and they don't do just testosterone. If I gave you that impression, it's wrong. They do all kinds of hormones. Now, the testosterone and estrogen, yes, they do. They do thyroid. They do others. Here's the whole point. If you do BioT, all you do is go to biotmedical.com, BioT Medical, and look up a doctor. That's where you can find an associated or an affiliated doctor. They don't have to be your primary care doctor. I chose a doctor to be my primary care doctor who happens to be a BioT doctor. So that's what I wanted to clear up. biotmedical.com. It's the most natural hormone replacement around. It's a pellet inserted under the skin in the fatty part of your hip or your butt, whatever. Anyway, you do it only 2 or 3 times a year. It's wonderful. And it's for women too, biotmedical.com. All right, we'll be right back. BioT done, and I'm keeping track of them. I got Ideal done, Fuller done, Art of Granite done, BioT done, Colorado Tinage is done, and Aurora Ortho done. So I'm doing good, bro. Unless he has something else. Don't you ever pee at you free?
He's gone off twice today.
Well, he drinks, you know, when you talk so much, you got to be drinking constantly and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So
my branch manager in the Springs, he's got something going on with his vocal cords, so he talks very gruff.
Oh.
And then it's kind of forced when he talks, so it wears on him even more. Yeah. Heck of a good guy. He was the one that went down there and dealt with the brothers.
Sounds like a good guy.
Really
I can't believe you're doing it.
Harold has the coolest dogs. Let me see if I can find a picture.
We should have had that.
Well, we're in the beginning stages of it now. We'll take some before pictures, during, after, and we'll see if we can do some filming. I don't know.
Don't you want to at least get? So you're gonna try to get the material donated?
I'm gonna try, yeah.
That's right. Because, like I said, I don't think they work at all, do they? But they're older brothers.
One brother doesn't talk. I think they're mentally
No, they actually both talk. Well, on the radio.
Scott said that when he was down there, one would.
And that very well could be and stuff. But we had them both on.
He said the other guy would look away most of the conversation and just make very brief eye contact.
I see that. George and Warren is what.
Yeah, George is the one that Scott dealt with. George Lewis.
And their mother actually died, I think, 5 years ago.
Poor guys. And so they never got the house quick claimed?
No, they did. They got the deed of the house, but apparently they let the insurance run out, or they never knew about it, or
the house may be paid off, and they just didn't know.
That could be. Oh no, the house is paid off. Yeah, the house is paid off. And I think they get SSI,
They have a number of affiliates
disabilities
around the country, and they
they're definitely not trying to
you can avoid
screw
surgery.
anybody. I don't know if they could do
In some
something.
cases, you can delay surgery, and in all cases,
When you get something like that, and they probably don't have relatives, and just to watch over them and make sure they do
putting on these
stuff
seminars.
right.
Here's the number:
That's right.
720-580-STELL. That's 720-580.
And was it leaking inside the house?
If you ever wanted to learn about stem cell therapy without any
Yes, they have a big tarp on the roof.
for their next seminar, 720-580.
Are you a homeowner who's tired of paying mortgage insurance? Hey, it's Ross Kaminsky from my friends at American Financing. If you own a home,
This is my guy in the Springs. He has 2 of these dogs. They are the coolest dogs. This is what you see when he rolls up to your house. Yeah.
40% more than when you bought
Do
them.
they take their trucks home?
Because when you're
That's my personal truck, but I've bought trucks for almost all of the guys here.
each and every month.
So yeah,
Why
yeah.
not let the salary-based mortgage consultants at American Financing
It's gotten it's gotten competitive in the roofing business. You know, I try to make the deal so sweet for my guys they don't want to go anywhere else.
They've already helped thousands of customers. So why not see what they can
You
do
had,
for you?
I don't want to talk right now, but I think to myself,
They may even be able to lock in a lower
I know
interest rate.
you,
I call it golden handcuffs, and I think it's a great business philosophy.
Call now, 303-695-7000 or online at American Financing.
I need some more gutter guys. If any gutter guys are watching the camera right now, call me.
Gutter guys. Oh,
Gutter
we'll
guys.
say it on the air.
Gutter guys.
So anyway, I want to tell you about this probe.
Exteriors on my side. They dealt with my insurance company. They came out, told me everything. They did everything.
So anyway, I decided to order this probe, and I ordered it for one place. Do you know what they said?
For the helicopter?
Yeah, so I ordered the probe, right? Because I took it out, tested it, and it's a bayonet you pull out, just a probe. It's I can show it.
Temperature sensing device, right?
Probe. So I took it out. I ordered from SkyGeek, and I don't hear anything. They say, oh, they're not even going to ship till June 14th, not even ship. And then it takes 5 to 8 days. They said, forget that. I canceled. I go to these guys, McFarland. The problem is they're $100 more, but they can get it there the next day. But why are they $100 more? But anyway, the other guys were cheaper, but I don't believe they could get it to me. I'm paying $60 to ship just so I can have it tomorrow morning and go flying this weekend.
That's worth it. They probably charge more because they're inventorying it. It just costs more to carry inventory.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. On the charity helicopter rides, the reason I want to mention this, we've had a few people contact us over the year because I have donated helicopter rides to charities to raise money for charity, and I love doing it. There's absolutely no cost, of course. It's a charity thing, and they bid on it, usually at a silent auction or a regular auction. The reason I'm mentioning this, please, when you call us, have proof of where you bought the helicopter ride, and and just have the certificate or the organization, that because we keep track of who we donate them to. Also, a few of you have contacted us and never contacted us again. And we were putting off rides for a while because I had what's called annual maintenance on the helicopter and some other issues. So now we're up and running. So if you're listening and you bought one of those charity rides, please, you can get back in touch with us. You can email us at live@troubleshooter.com. live@troubleshooter.com. If you are a charity and you want to auction off a helicopter ride, I take them personally, or unless I'm not feeling good or something, or I can't schedule it, then I have one of my friends do it, who's a commercial pilot. If you want, it's a beautiful helicopter tour of the Front Range, or we'll even go around your house, or whatever you want, and that would be live@troubleshooter.com is the email. Okay, if you wanna do that, live@troubleshooter.com. Jay, you've been with me, haven't you? Didn't I take you once or twice?
You have, Tom, and I can
Isn't it fun?
Personally attest to everybody out there listening. He is a good pilot. I mean, he is a good pilot.
I won't hurt you.
I've done a lot of flying with different private pilots, and I would say Tom is one of the best. And flying a helicopter is tricky business.
Do you know why? Because I'm afraid. I don't mean like fearful trembling, but I have a healthy respect. I learned to fly because I was afraid to fly. You know that's why. That's why I learned to fly. I was afraid of flying, and I wanted to learn about it. So I went into an airplane and learned the controls, and then the guy took off, and I thought I was going to land, and he landed right away. So because I had that control, we did what was called crow hops. You know, we'd come up about 5-10 feet and then land again. He was so nice. I was able to do that and learn, and that was like 30-something years ago. So welcome to the show, folks. I'm a consumer advocate. I have Jay Bretz with me. He's one of my original sponsors on the referral list. We're talking about roofing or anything else you want. Skipper's up next. You can call now and get right through at 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Skipper, what's going on with your cell phone?
Hi, I bought a cell phone new at this shop at Colfax and Potomac, right off Potomac there.
Now, you bought a new cell phone. Very seldom do people just buy a cell phone. They usually sign up with a carrier. Now, was this a store, a carrier, or just buying the phone?
It's a store called Big Mama's. I just bought the phone outright. It's a Motorola.
Okay, and what kind of phone?
Motorola Z-Force.
Z-Force. Is it an older one, or is it one of the newer ones?
It's one of the newer ones, and I'm hearing voices and beeping and crazy sounds, and when I call them, they say they're not responsible for the learning curve of the end user, but that's not what it's
now,
about.
this was a brand new phone, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and who's it, what carrier do you have?
AT&T, and it's going crazy. It's making noises and sounds, and it's freaking out. The phone is.
Really? And how are you at technology? Are you pretty good?
I don't know what's going on.
Hold on.
I don't know what's going on with this phone.
I don't know at all. I'm all right.
Oh, he's joking. You're joking me, bud.
Huh?
Come on, you just did that with your voice. How'd you do that?
Big Mama's is
do it again. Do it again, Skipper. Make your voice go slow again.
Big Mama's is the one who sold it to me.
Make it go slower. How do you do that? Do you have a
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you have Skipper? Do you have a synthesizer?
I don't know.
That is so cool. Skipper,
I'm telling you, this phone is
Skipper, let me know how you're doing that. I want it for my phone. How are you doing it?
It's whacked out something fierce. I can tell you that right now.
What is the name of the app you're using?
I went to Big Mama's.
I want to know the name of that app. Get it out of him, Daphne. Try to find out what app he used to do that voice stuff. I like that. I imagine there are a number. Say it, I'm looking up Z-Force Motorola. I don't even see one. Oh, yeah, I see one. There actually is one, but I thought he's not for real. He doesn't have a problem. 303-713-8255. That is pretty cool, though. We got a comment about Solar City. Not sure why. What are you commenting? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on the wrong line. Hold on. That's a new caller. Mark, what do you want to say about Solar City?
So I was just catching up on some of your podcasts from last week. I think it was on Friday. And you guys keep having people call in where to go for solar panels, and it doesn't seem like there's anywhere good to go. Solar City obviously is not going anywhere. Big company.
Right.
They don't just do leasing. I bought from them 2 years ago.
That's all they do.
Great.
That's all they do is leasing.
No, not at all. I bought from them 2 years ago. They do sell. You can either lease or buy from them.
No, I know, but they're primarily a leasing company.
Okay, yeah, I mean, sure, but if you want to buy, you can buy it. I did 2 years ago.
Now, when you when you bought from them, how did it work?
Zero down. It's a 30-year loan, basically, and they put the panels up, and they're under warranty for that whole 30 years as well.
And it's actually a purchase, not the lease.
It's a purchase on a 4.5%.
And Mark, it's a fixed payment every month, no matter how much electricity you use.
No, the payment actually varies on the amount of electricity you do produce, so the payment goes up.
But that sounds like their leasing program. Are you sure? Because that's exactly how their lease works. No money down, and you pay per kilowatt.
No, it is a purchase. The payment's based on the purchase, because then you get money back from Excel every month. I get a check from Excel because I overproduce.
Anyway, how do you like it?
Love it. It's been great.
Okay, again, I would love to see your paperwork, Mark, because I do think it's a lease. Because that's how their leases work. But if it was a loan, Jay, think about it. There would be no reason to fluctuate the payment. It would be a 30-year loan.
It would be a fixed payment the whole time.
Exactly.
I'm curious, how much did you pay for the system? That's what I'd like to know.
Yeah, how much did you pay, Mark?
I paid $29,000.
And how much was the rebate?
30%.
Now, that 30% obviously came off the top, right? So you didn't have to pay that much, right?
So when you actually file your taxes, you send that paperwork in showing you bought the system. You get it back on your taxes.
So you actually,
in Colorado, you're not forced to pay the money back to Solar City. You can actually pocket that money if you want to.
Whoa!
How much do you get back?
30%, bro. Yeah. So seriously, if you spent 30 grand, you'd get 9 grand. In tax credits. No, if I knew I was going to stay in my home, I would do it. The reason is you have to have someone take it over when you move. You have to, or you have to pay it off, or you have to move it. It's not practical to move it.
No, it's not practical.
And I'm afraid it's a barrier to selling a house, although I don't know why anyone wouldn't want to inherit it. If I bought a house and it was existing, why not, right? It's not
absolutely. I would like it myself.
I like solar systems. I love solar systems, in fact. Okay, Terry has a question on a roof. Go ahead, Terry.
Yeah, Tom, I had some hail damage on my roof, and part of it is normal shingles, and part of it is a modified
bitumen.
Modified bitumen, and there's no real physical damage to the modified bitumen.
Yeah.
So they don't want to replace that part, but they're paying to replace the rest.
So do you have a problem with that, Terry?
Well, I just, and it did leak during the storm, and as soon as it dried up, I got up there with a caulking gun, and where some of it had lifted, put some roof tar stuff underneath it.
You hold on 1 second. I'll come right back to you, okay, Terry? Because I do have to take a quick break. And this is an important question many times when insurance companies will pay for one part and not another. Sometimes you can force the whole thing depending on the situation. By the way, Flexident, speaking of storms and storm damage, when it comes to cars, when you get repairs, don't let anyone make you do the drill and fill at a body shop, because they can do door dings, minor dents, hail damage, all without disturbing the paint. That's if the paint is not disturbed to begin with. They can massage that out perfectly because they're master techs, and they're great technicians. Nick, the founder, has been in business like 40 years doing this, and the downtime is minimal, and he knows what he's doing. I recommend only Flexident for your paintless dent repair. Flexident, 303-619-6273, 619-6273.
Would you call that, Jay, modified bitumen?
Modified bitumen. B-I-T-U-M-E-N.
What is it?
And some people call it modified bitumen.
I know that. I always call it bitumen.
I try not to say the bitch.
Good guy.
So you've got plain old tar,
Right.
and it's usually the bottom of the barrel.
It's a flat roof?
Just in general, right? You've got tar, and then you've got rubber. They make that rubber out of the petroleum-based products.
Right.
If you modify the bitumen enough, it turns it into rubber. Like this, it's plastic. You know, it started off as a petroleum-based thing. So what they do is they modify it. So what we mean by modified bitumen is that the roofing product is more like rubber than just tar.
Okay.
Tar gets very hard, it gets very brittle, it'll crack. The modified, because it's has more rubber-like properties, it can expand, it can crack. You can usually beat on that stuff with a hammer, and it doesn't do damage.
And he researched it and has the.
But for flat roofs, then that's what it is.
Some of it is just a smooth coating. Other ones have granules put on.
Getting through it.
If you have a back porch and it's got a really low slope, we're going to put modified bitumen on the back and then shingles on the slope. And we're going to try to get a modified that matches the color of the shingle.
Oh, okay. Really?
So that's one of the most common uses of it.
Okay.
Most of the there's a couple different kinds of modified bitumen. One that is really good. You melt the back of it with a torch and slowly roll it out.
That's what my daughter got, because it was like not a carpet.
That stuff is really good.
Expensive.
The problem is, most insurance companies don't want to insure roofers anymore to run a torch on a job.
Oh,
it's dangerous. Yeah. So the manufacturers came up with what they call peel and stick. The peel and stick is kind of like duct tape. I mean, it's sticky on one side. You roll it out and you stick it on.
Literally do it. That's how you put it on?
Yeah.
Flat roof?
Yep, and it can be a two-part system.
But is it really good, Jay? Does it really adhere?
On a commercial building, or if your your house has got a big flat roof, I don't like it. For your back porch, it's just fine.
Okay.
If you've got a commercial kind of flat roof on a building or something like that, then we want to use an EPDM, which is like pure rubber, or a TPO or something.
Have you ever heard of Rhino Systems?
Rhino is a TPO.
Isn't that good?
You know, there's different kinds of systems. And
I've seen some, Jay, when they go down. When they go down, they look like a solid piece of freaking glass.
Yep.
I mean, they're just good shit.
Yeah, they are.
They go off the sides like in a little curve.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
Those, what are they called?
I think Rhino System is a TPO.
What do you mean that's what you have? You have a flat roof?
No, my daughter does. She had a flat roof place downtown, 100-year-old house. Yeah,
Where'd she live? Where is it? She still has it?
Cherokee and.
She still has it?
Yeah.
A little house?
Well, it's a little house. It's a duplex, little duplex.
Does she own it?
Yeah.
Both sides?
No, just the one side.
And where is it? Cherokee?
Cherokee and 3rd.
Is it a nice little house?
It's older, but it's not bad inside.
What you're talking about with the Rhino?
Oh, absolutely. You're exactly right.
But it's a roof coating. They paint it on. That's what that stuff is.
What do they paint it over, though, Jay?
The old roof.
No.
Maybe the old roof is in okay condition and you want to get 10 more years out of it.
Rhino Systems, though, they have a roof, too. They have it. I know that because I've seen it. They've shown me the material. I thought.
We pay Russ endless summer savings.
Do you put them on, Jay? Do you do that, too? Or?
Yeah, I think Rhino Systems is a spray foam.
No, that's not. You're thinking of Rhino on the truck.
No, this is a roof.
Although, man, that truck bed finish, that is a good finish. I was thinking about putting that truck bed finish on the bottom of my helicopter.
I'm going to buy another trailer, and I was just thinking about putting that on the bottom of the trailer.
There's a lot of drag on that if I put it on the helicopter.
It's a line in the sand.
Do you know I increased my speed by 10 knots and my smoothness by putting a stupid rotor cap, a rotor.
Really?
When you see it, this guy called me, because he has all the Edstrom owners. He has a database, and he happened to call me or email me. And I said, yeah, right, and I talk to people. Jay, it's all it is a cap.
A dome on top of the
center of the road.
And
it's smooth. Not only did I get increased speed, I don't have any oscillation. I used to have a little. It was always smooth. This is dead.
I thought you were going to tell me you did a coating on it or something like that.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome. Rocky's Autos, 63rd and Federal. If you're looking for a used car, truck, SUV, or van, you won't do better than Rocky's. They have such a giant selection. But here's the deal with Rocky's, okay? I want to tell you about it. The deal is they have variety. That's the deal, like colors and models and shapes and sizes. That's what they go for. They just want your eye to wander and for you to find something that you like. And in every category, in every price category. A Carfax with every car, 40 lenders to choose from, kid-friendly, pet-friendly. They mean it. Bring your dog with you if you want. 63rd and Federal, Monday through Saturday, 9 to 8, 303-426-4646. Okay, we have an update. We had a question about what happens when lines go through a yard or toward the back of your yard, basically on their easement, power lines on poles, and you have trees in your yard. Whose responsibility is it to clear the tree branches from the power line? Let's talk to Mark. And he's with Excel. We can believe what he says. Excel, they're not going to steer us wrong on this. They'll tell us what is tradition here. So, Mark, hi, how are you?
Hey, Tom, good to talk to you again.
Can you tell me, with electric lines, who's responsible?
Yeah, a couple of things here. If you're talking, get to the point. If you're talking specific...
Whoops, where did he go? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Did I disconnect him? Somehow he got disconnected. I'm very sorry, Daff. I don't know what happened. I might have touched a button by mistake. Get him right back, and I'll take him. I'm so sorry. And tell him I'm very sorry for that. And meanwhile, I'll take Chris until we get him back on. Chris, you were hit by an unlicensed driver?
Oh, hi, Tom.
Yeah.
Yes, I was in Brighton yesterday. I was on Bromley and US 85.
All right, hold on. I'm going to go back to that, and I'll come right back to you. Mark, I'm so sorry I hit a button or something. So you were so you were getting to the bottom line on the responsibility of tree branches and power lines.
Right. If it's the service loop from the pole to your house, that is the responsibility of the customers. What we always recommend, though, is that you need to have that line dropped so that you can bring in a professional tree trimmer who is ever going to do it, but they're not near a live line. So it's a non-gratuitous charge because it's really just between the utility and that one customer.
When
so
you say have the line dropped, what do you mean?
Means you take the line out of service. So you literally drop the line so that whoever gets up there to trim the trees doesn't have to worry about potentially touching the line.
What if somebody wants to do the service line from the pole to their house underground? Is that allowed?
Well, that can be done, but it's very, very expensive.
Okay.
And maybe not necessarily worth the. I mean, I'd have to look at the individual case. We'd have to look at the individual case, obviously, but it can be very, very expensive and probably cost prohibitive to tell you the truth.
So basically, you will take the line out of service while the tree trimmer trims around it if it's from the tree or from the pole to the house. Now, what about when it's going through the neighborhood and it goes through your yard?
Totally different situation. So if you've got a big line going on the back of your yard between you and your neighbor's backyard and there's a tree issue, we'd love to have you call us. That's on us. So we'll come in, and if we see that's a situation where it's the main distribution line, or our large distribution line, if you will, then the XL Energy takes care of those.
Have you guys ever been accused of ruining a tree or hurting a tree?
Yeah, probably every day.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's you need to trim that tree back so that the line can operate safely. That's the first priority. But it's not always going to look good. It's just the way it is. It's unfortunate that the tree gets planted under the line in the first place, but we understand it happens.
Yeah.
And the first thing we're worried about is when the snowstorm comes or a heavy rainstorm, we don't want that tree ever going into the line because then you have a bigger issue with maybe a several-hour power outage.
And technically, you own that. I mean, you don't own it, but that space, you have a right to that space in the easement, right?
Well, the ones between the neighborhoods, and we actually own the line to your house, and then it becomes the customer's. Obviously the systems inside the house belong to the customer once you get past the meter. But yeah, we own all of that. But definitely, when you're talking about the ones through the neighborhoods, there are easements and agreements and everything that we have to get to make sure that we can operate and maintain those lines over time.
Okay, Mark, thank you very much. Mark Stutz from XL Energy, and they are clarifying that if it's the service line, the power line going from the pole to your home, and any trees are in the way, you have to clear those away. But let them know so they can at least turn off the power to that while you're doing it. The other thing, if it's the main lines going from house to house, they're responsible for that. And that's much like sewer lines. If you have a sewer line, the main line is the sewer district's responsibility, and the service line from the main to your home is your responsibility. 303-713-TALK. We have two people that want to talk about evictions, which is very strange. They're not the same case, right? Let's go to Donna first. Donna, what's happening? Donna? Okay, hold on. I didn't forget about Chris and the unlicensed driver. I was going to try to give him more time because we're almost out of time. So I'll get started. Chris, when did you get hit? Did you say yesterday?
Right. Yeah, yesterday around 4:30 in the afternoon.
Okay. And what happened?
Well, I don't know if you're familiar with Brighton or not.
Yeah, I am. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I was in the right lane of Bromley.
Yep.
Going westbound.
Yes.
I went through the intersection, and I proceeded to make my right turn onto, it's called Cooner Road right there.
Right, you were taking a right off of Bromley. Hold on, we'll come right back to you and pick up where we left off. I encourage you to stay on the line. I will get to all of your calls. We also have Jay Bretz with us from Excel Roofing. We love talking about anything on your mind, anything we can help you with. Just give us a call, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255.
Nothing is more.
I did a good job, brother.
I'm Donnie.
You knocked him out.
Going on now at our tent sales.
They're kind of like all over though. It's like bingo.
Did you get that email Alan sent to you about,
So you put those on, Jay? You do that on Rhino Roofing? It's a crazy thing. They've got companies that are called Rhino,
like you can be one of their franchisees. They make underlayment, which you put under shingles, but they also make a roof coating. They don't have a flat roofing material necessarily.
So you do flat roofs, tar roofs?
We don't do tar.
You don't do tar. Okay. But you do the rubber.
Yep.
Coating.
They have different kinds. Okay, so they call them single ply systems. That means it's just a sheet of whatever.
That's what it looks
And
like.
you can have EPDM. It looks like bicycle inner tubes. It's just rubber. TPO and PVC, they're plastic. It's just like a PVC pipe.
Okay.
So it's thin. It's got a fiberglass core to it, like almost like a carpet. You know, carpet backing is really small, that fiber, like that, and that's the core of the roofing material. So you roll it out in sheets. The sheets might be 10 feet wide, 15 feet wide, and then you weld all the seams.
Okay, that makes sense. So you can handle it and stuff up there. So you just weld it with heat?
Yep.
Okay. And know that you like those. Those are good.
They're pretty good.
Can you walk on them?
Oh, yeah.
When I say walk on them, could you make she's talking about putting a rooftop deck on, but you'd have to put a wood. My daughter and stuff, you know, because she's got a flat roof, it'd just be a great thing in downtown. But you have to, could you put the decking material right on top of that, do you think?
So you do your whole roof first.
Yeah.
And then you put sleepers on top of it. Sleepers are your trusses or whatever, right? Your deck's going to sit on. And preferably, hopefully the roof underneath has some pitch to it, but the deck is flat. But then you would take some strips of roofing material and put it in between where your 2x8s or 2x10s are going to sit on the roof.
Okay.
So you give it some padding.
I see.
Something like that.
Gotcha.
So you're putting your 2x10s directly on the roof, but you're not. You're not contact.
Right.
And hopefully you're not screwing anything into the roof at all.
Exactly.
All of the connections
Sets on, it just set on basically, you can lift it up to the end of the year.
You're welcome.
So it's tough enough.
Here's a fresh one for you.
Fresh one.
We kicked butt on that, didn't we?
Man, oh man. It's like bingo though, it's all over the place.
An action figure. A Kickstarter page has been created to raise money for further development of an action figure.
It's a little cone on top of your helicopter. Is that what it is?
I'm going to see if I can find it online.
You know, because so that keeps the air from coming down in those near blades.
It sounds to me like a dome that you put on a satellite dish for a motorhome.
But that's why it smooths it out. I bet. Engineers are just marvelous.
You wouldn't think that there would be that much air going over the very top of the center of the rotor.
Well, if you look at how
it must interfere though.
Oh, there must be a tremendous amount of air being like pushed up and over it or something to get that 10 knots.
And it forces all the air just on the bigger part of the blade.
Yeah, and not only that, but the smoothness blew my mind. But then all of a sudden, I find the speed going up, and I'm thinking my normal cruise, normal power setting, and I'm doing like
so it means you save on fuel.
Knots.
So it means you save on fuel too.
Yeah, because I can pull back to go the speed I usually go, but I don't. I just keep going fast. I love fast, but I'm trying to find. But he's called. What's his name? I'm going to find it.
So that thing will pay for itself.
But look up. Just look up Enstrom rotor head. Okay, Enstrom rotor head. And when you do that, you'll see the Enstrom rotor head. Then look at the center. You'll see how rough that is, right? And it covers that whole center right there. You see? So Enstrom rotor head, and go to images. Just go to images only. And when you see that,
is online at Price Fixer.
now I want to do what is it called?
You can have a little channel too.
Did you see rotor head, Enstrom rotor head?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So see how rough that is there? Over at the top. So think about air being sucked down and over that. Because as you go forward, that air goes over that.
This is the Troubleshooter Show.
I need somebody.
Now, Tom Martino on 630 KHOW.
Help me if you can. I'm feeling down.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Here to help you solve problems, to answer questions, and to take complaints. All you have to do is give us a call at 303-713-TALK, 713-8255, and 24/7. This number works for anyone, anywhere, anytime. 303-MARTINO. When you call that number, you will get us, or You will get our voicemail. If we're on the air, it'll come here. If we're not, it'll go to the office. If not, it goes to voicemail. We will check that every single hour. We love the calls on 303 Martino. Okay, we got a letter from the Nip Man. This is Ryan Nipple. His real name is Napples, and he runs this company called the Stones Fall or whatever, Falling. What's the name again?
Stone Falls Landscaping.
Stone Falls Custom Masonry and Landscaping. 720-429-4646. He got paid $16,000 from a homeowner and did about $3,000 or $4,000 worth of work, give or take. He did a pretty good retaining wall, and he attempted to do other work, but he walked off the job. He says, "I'm not a weed puller," and he got pissed. He even said that to us. He's kind of a belligerent bastard, if you want my opinion. And he also he just seems like he shouldn't be in business, in my opinion. So he said he did $18,000 worth of work. He wanted another $2,000. I think we ought to go after him. Anyway, he refuses to address this. He was on the radio once, and he kept, oh my God, he was just terrible trying to represent himself. I was trying to help him out, and he just kept going on and on and on and dropping all kinds of vulgarity. So he writes me an email, but it says from the name on this email, though, is not. You said he wrote me an email. Daft, this is not. Is this from him, or is it about him? This email that somebody sent me.
It's about him.
Oh, I thought you said we got an email from him. Daft, did you misunderstand? Did we get an email from the Nip Man? Nipples, yes or no?
No, it's somebody who had a comment on him.
Okay, sorry about that. I misunderstood. Let's see. Okay, anyway. Well, I'm going to read it over and let you know what it says. I thought he was writing to me. So let's go back to Chris, because Chris says, and by the way, Jay Bretz from Excel Roofing is with us. Jay said he was hit yesterday about 4:30. He was driving yesterday west on Bromley in Brighton, and he was making a right-hand turn. So you're in the right lane making a right turn. What happened, Chris? Are you there, sir? Somebody see what's happening with him. I'll go to, is it Jameson? Who is this right now?
Hello?
Who are you? I can't read the name.
Jasmine.
Jasmine. Okay, Jasmine, thank you. What's happening?
Well, I just had a question because
Yes.
I got a letter on my door yesterday when I got home.
Yes.
And it said that I had 3 days to get out of my apartment.
Okay, that's called an eviction notice. That's the very first step. They put 3 day a 3 day notice to leave. If you don't leave in those 3 days, then they have to go to court and they get what's called an eviction hearing. Now that still doesn't mean you have to get out then. Then they serve you with that notice, and it's set for a hearing sometime in the future. It could be a week, it could be 2 weeks, and then you go to that hearing, and at that hearing the judge decides whether to uphold the eviction or not.
So, and I guess it's actually not an eviction. They said they're just terminating my lease. I just want to know if you had any advice.
They said it's not an eviction?
Yeah, they're just terminating my lease because my dog.
Well, hold on. But with a termination of lease, they would simply not renew your lease. They would not give you a 3 day notice.
So my only question is because I had paid the rent too on the 1st, and they're saying I have to get out by the 11th. Is there anything I can do about? Because they said that they're not sure if I would be able to even get my money back.
Jasmine, it is an eviction. What do you mean? Why are they saying it's not an eviction?
Yeah, I actually recorded it too to make sure that they don't try to, put that on my record. And I asked her, I said, "Is this an eviction or what is this?" Because I was like, I just paid my rent, so. And she said, "No, it's not an eviction. It's a termination of your lease."
But why are they terminating your lease?
Because my dog, because I guess it had excessive barking, and they said that the cops had came to my door, but I didn't get a letter from them, so I also have to call Thornton
All right,
PD to
Jasmine,
even see.
I want to ask a couple questions. Okay, do you want to leave? Do you want to leave?
I mean, I do, just because I thought.
Okay. All right, you don't have to.
About everything.
Yeah, you don't have to give me big explanations. I'm going to help you here. First and foremost, know this: it's an eviction. Okay. Second, they can't keep your rent if they're kicking you out, but they can keep it for the time you're there. But here's what you need to do. It's very, very important. You need to either leave or ride through the eviction, because if you can't get out there in 3 days, I wouldn't leave because they have my money. What I would say is, I want my money back for the unused rent, or I'm not leaving. Then, when is your lease up normally? When would your lease be up?
On October 17th of this year.
Okay, well, they can't terminate your lease without an eviction. So, you can do this. You can call them and say, look, I will get out of here voluntarily by the end of the month, okay, because I've already paid my rent. If they say no, then you say, okay, I'll get out voluntarily at any date you want, you know, if it's reasonable, but I want the unused portion of the rent back, okay?
Yeah.
Along with your security deposit. If they say no, then you say, well, then go ahead and evict me. And here's what will happen. They will serve you, it's not a big deal, with a summons. And that basically is an order to appear in court. Then you go to court, and here's what you say to the judge. Your Honor, I had no problem with them evicting me. I simply wanted the unused portion of my rent back, and they refused. I don't mind leaving, but I don't think they should be unjustly enriched. And I would just talk to the judge. So that's it. You can either leave right now, you can wait for the eviction, or negotiate some kind of settlement. Did you get that?
Yes.
Okay.
And so, because I made sure to record it because I definitely don't want an eviction on my
it doesn't matter, Jasmine. It is an eviction.
Yeah.
It is. It's an eviction.
It wasn't.
This is why it doesn't matter if you have it on a recording, because when you go to a new landlord, it will show up as an eviction. And what are you going to do? Play the recording for the guy? It's not going to work. Here's what I recommend you do. Negotiate some kind of an out. I would go to them and say, look, I don't want trouble. I don't want an eviction on my record.
Yeah.
What do you say I get out by the 15th and you give me the unused portion of the rent back? See if you can do that, okay? Let's go back to Chris. Are you there now, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay, so you were hit. You were going down Bromley in the right lane, and you made a right turn. What's the problem?
I got rear-ended. Well, he actually hit my rear quarter panel. A 17-year-old kid with no license, and I'm assuming no insurance because he didn't provide any to the cop. And the way the cop wrote up the ticket was he didn't even write it as a traffic accident. He wrote it down as I made an illegal turn.
Wait. Why did you make an illegal turn?
That's what I'm trying to get at. I don't understand.
Wait a minute. You were making a right turn, right?
Yes.
Was it a one-way street?
No.
Why is he calling it illegal?
That's the whole thing.
Wait a minute. And he didn't. Did you ask? Hey, officer, why is this illegal?
Yeah, and he claims that he went back to where it happened because the guy actually. What
does he claim, Chris? What does he claim? I just need to know why he wrote you a ticket.
He claims that I made a right turn from the left lane in front of this guy.
Okay.
Something I've never done in my whole life.
No, I understand. Now, that makes sense. So he is claiming you made a right in front of the guy. Did he give the guy a ticket for not having a license?
I'm pretty sure he did. I saw him hand him something through the window.
You know, and as crazy as this sounds, that doesn't mean he's automatically liable for the accident just because he doesn't have a license. However, your credibility, I think, would be higher in this situation. Is he claiming you were in the left lane?
Who, the cop or
no,
the guy driving?
The other guy.
The other guy claims that I cut in front of him.
Okay, so the other guy told the police officer you were in the left lane and made a right turn.
Yeah.
And you disagree, obviously. So why did the police officer, do you think, why did he choose to believe this guy?
I'm thinking it's either the sanctuary city thing or I don't know.
Why are you saying that? Is he Mexican?
Yes.
Did he speak English?
His father did not, but the kid did, yeah.
So there were two of them.
Well, his father showed up like 15 minutes after it happened. So But the whole thing is that the cop didn't write it as an accident. He didn't take any pictures. He didn't even do a proper investigation at all. So now I'm left with the damage, and none of
How old was this kid? How old was this kid?
17.
Yeah, because usually they learn English, at least this, no tengo segura. They always learn that, you know. And
the kid knew
no
English.
insurance, no tengo segura. No.
Yeah.
It's the first thing they said. I got in an accident. It's the first thing she said to me. She didn't know any words except no tengo segura. And I said to the officer, listen, can you write a ticket for that? He said, what good would it do? Could you? Yeah. I mean, seriously, it just pissed me off. Now, I'm not saying this is not a slam against Mexicans, by the way, but I'm saying that literally no insurance. He meant it. What good would it do? And he's right, because she probably, well, not probably, she didn't show up for court. It was over. So here's what I want you to do. You need to, if you don't have a witness, you need to know if there's any traffic.
I do have a witness, luckily.
Who?
My girlfriend was in the car, and her 2 kids. Luckily, no one was hurt.
You need to fight the ticket first. Then you need to go after him for damages.
Okay.
Now,
yeah, because
did you get an address on the guy?
No, the cop didn't provide me with a single piece of information.
Okay, get the police report, get the guy's address. You have a right to get his address, and you need to go after him, or ask the DA to go after him because you want to sue him. Get the name. You have to sue him in small claims court. This may do no good, but you have to sue him using your girlfriend as evidence that he hit you. But where did the strike happen? Where did he hit your car?
Right on Cooner Road and Bromley Lane.
On the car. Was it the right side?
My rear right quarter panel.
That's right where he would have. But see, that looks like you were in the left lane, though. Think about that.
I know. I think it's because the guy swerved, and he probably tried to avoid me, so he hit my.
So what do you think? He didn't see you turning? He didn't see your turn signal?
Oh, I think he was just flat out following too closely.
This is going to be a hard one because of the damage on the car. Listen.
Oh, do you have any information on if you're able to obtain the intersection camera footage? Because there is a camera.
Yes, you can. Listen, you know what? You should call Joseph A. Lazara. He does traffic, and he's great. I'm not saying you have to hire him, but he could tell you probably how to get a copy of the video and all of that stuff. He's a good guy, and he always does his initial consultations free, so you could ask him questions. Here's why. I think you need to get that ticket out of the way. What are you more concerned about, the damage to the car or the ticket?
Well, at this point, I'm kind of concerned that he didn't even write it up as an accident.
No, I'm asking you, though, for you, what are you concerned about? Are you concerned about the damage or the ticket?
Really both, honestly, because I drive for Lyft and Uber, and you're not allowed to have a dented vehicle.
Okay, all right.
Now I have to wait 2 months.
You're right. Then you need to get him in small claims court and sue. And Joseph A. Lazara, I truly recommend it. Listen, he will talk to you. He can help you with that ticket for sure. 303-429-6200. It might be worth it if this is your career. 303-429-6200. You can find Joe Lazara on my referral list, okay? Joe Lazara. Okay, right now, time to talk to Al Aramis at Pro Auto Care about his special. It's a timing belt replacement special. Let me tell you why this is important. If you guys buy a used car, now, you don't know what the maintenance is. You don't know what was done. If it's over 60,000 miles, you look in most owners' manuals that sometime you have to replace a timing belt if it has one, and it can ruin your engine if you don't. So if you don't know, you should get it done as a precaution. And, of course, if you do know, then you're going to love this special. Al, what is it?
Well, Tom, and let me add to that. I'm going to give them the special, but one of the biggest things people ask, how do I know my time belt's going to go out?
You don't.
You know what it is?
You don't.
There is nothing.
Right.
One time you'll fire up the car, it doesn't sound right.
I know.
It doesn't run. That's it. Cruising down the highway just goes dead. What happens is you do catastrophic damage, and it's something you could avoid and save you so much money. I'm going to do the special for 15% off of anything other than a timing belt and $100 off a timing belt. So if you needed service work, it's a great time to do it because you're going to save some cash.
Okay, so let me get this straight. So they come in for a timing belt replacement and automatically get $100 off of that. And then any other work they have done, you will take 15% off of the labor.
That is right, and that's going to save them, Tom. Keep your car running.
It's a great
right.
idea.
Back it up with a 3-year, 36,000 national warranty.
Yeah, I want to tell them that. You get 36,000 miles. That's for anyone. You get roadside assistance in between all of the services at Al's because they last like 36,000 miles. 303-PRO-AUTO is the phone number. 303-PRO-AUTO, 2 locations, near Evans and I-25, near Bowles and Santa Fe. You can go to the website for details, which is the same as the number, 303-PROAuto.com.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
This report is brought to you by Discover Student Loan.
Spots to watch out for when you drive across
And we've killed this.
Southbound I-25 apart off to the right lane there, backups to 58th. Also look out for crash westbound I-70 at Colorado.
Now, where do I say permanent? I looked at every one of my things, and I don't say permanent.
And I called, he actually left a message, I told him that, so I still got to call up Concrete Lifting to see, but I don't know if you have a standard one that plays another.
That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
I'm going to listen. A high of 87 right now, front and center, 72 in Denver. With your traffic and weather, IP Flasher, 630 K-How.
Figuring out how to cover college costs? Discover Student Loans is one of the top private student loan lenders in the country, with great rates, 0 fees. Plus, students earn a fast reward for their good grades. Visit Discover.
All right, let's do concrete lift in 30.
Conditions, but now you can get help with concrete lift and stabilization. Owner Devin Johns is an expert at both polyjacking and mudjacking. Mudjacking is a concrete mixture. Polyjacking is a plastic.
15.
Each one is good for specific circumstances. He will come out and evaluate your concrete problems and then recommend the best treatment for the
concrete lift in 5.
And care for yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Concrete lift and stabilization. It's a company that I highly recommend to help you with your concrete problems. The reason I love it so much is because if you have Devin Johns come out, he has both systems available for lifting concrete. You may say, I don't need concrete lifted, but what I'm talking about is this. When you have concrete problems, cracking or movement, heaving, slanting, it's usually from a void underneath. And when we talk about concrete lifting and stabilization, it fills those voids. Now, it may not really lift the entire slab. It might lift a corner of it. It might lift a sidewalk. It may not. It will fill the void, and that's what you want to do. Over the years, if soil wasn't prepared properly, it'll sink, it'll drain away with underground water and stream, or it'll just weather away. What you need to do is stabilize it, and this is a wonderful solution. ConcreteLift.com. He does both the polyjacking, which is the plastic, and the mudjacking, which is mud. Now, each is good for certain circumstances. Call for details, and he'd be happy to come out free of charge and assess the problem and give you a written diagnostic. 720-890-2740. 720-890-2740.
If you're over 50 and concerned about any of the following, stay tuned for an exclusive free bottle offer. Are you concerned about your heart health? Are you interested in healthy brain function? What about joint comfort and energy? Well, if you answered yes to any of these questions, we want to send you a free bottle of Krill Omega 50 Plus now with CoQ10. Krill Omega 50 Plus with CoQ10 combines krill oil with fish oil in one tiny pill. And this little pill delivers big health benefits to your heart, your joints, your arteries, and brain. And with CoQ10, you'll enjoy extra energy too. Best of all, you can get a free bottle of Krill Omega 50 Plus with CoQ10 today. Just pay for shipping. Call.
It cracks. That's due to problems underneath voids. If you want to correct your concrete problem, there is a company that will give you a free appraisal of what is wrong and then recommend the right system because they carry both mudjacking and they do polymer jacking. And that plastic polymer expands for a permanent solution.
Oh, there it is.
Concrete lift and
We'll get back to rebounds. This
That's
is Denver's
he said they got a group.
630 K-How.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255, here to help you solve your problems, answer your questions, and take your complaints. George has a comment on the accident. The guy said he was going he was in the right lane going west, made a right turn. The guy behind him said, no, he was in the left lane, he turned in front of me. Go ahead, George.
Hi, thanks, Tom. The accident, the damage to the car should be pretty easily determinative of what actually occurred.
Yeah.
So if the kid is driving, as this guy suggests, close to him in the right lane, then the damage would be right near that quarter, right near the rear passenger corner. If the damage is much further up the right side of the car, closer to the rear door on the right side, then it's more likely to be what the kid is saying.
Right.
That the guy made a turn from the left side. So it really should be very easy to prove based on the pictures of the actual damage to both cars, but clearly the the older guy's vehicle.
Now, technically, if he was, depending on where he was behind him, if the guy was in the left lane and crossed over like the guy said, if that did happen, technically he could have damage anywhere on that side. I mean, it could be, it depends on how far away he was. He could have hit him right at the corner. He could have him right at the door, as you say. He could have hit him in between. That wouldn't be definitive, but it would certainly be for sure. If it was where you say, like say from the wheel well forward, then we know the guy crossed over.
That's right.
Because there's no other way. So here's the deal. If they have traffic footage, you can get a hold of it. People do it all the time. All right. Mildred hung up. I was going to help her. Listen, folks, I'm going to get right through these calls, I promise you. So Randy's got a comment. 303-713-TALK. If you call, I promise I'll get right to you. Go ahead, Randy.
That intersection where that accident happened.
Yeah.
On 85, if the guy that hit him,
yeah,
if he was turning right onto westbound Bromley, there's only like a 5-foot space between Cooner Road and 85, so he could have been turning on to Bromley and nailed him whenever he was in the right lane turning onto Cooner.
I'm not sure what you're saying. If the guy, the victim, let's call him, if he was driving, turning right, and as he said, he was in the right lane turning right,
yep,
then what does that mean?
If he was in the right lane turning right, and
the guy behind him,
was turning off of 85 onto Bromley.
But he wasn't, I don't think. I mean, he didn't say he was, but we don't know that, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. If he says that he was in the right lane, the only way that he could have gotten hit right there is if he was turning off of 85.
Really? Why?
Because there's Cooner Road and 85, there's only about 5-foot difference between the intersection right there.
But why couldn't he have been on Bromley Lane already?
The guy that hit him?
Yeah. In other words, why do you assume he was turning onto Bromley? Why couldn't he have been following him for a while? I guess that's the part I'm not following.
Well, I guess that could be possible too, but in order for him to hit him in that area, I was assuming that he was heading southbound on 85, turning west onto...
Okay. All right. And again, I thought that the police probably would have figured that out. 303-713-TALK. It's amazing to me, though, when it comes to accidents, how often people say at the scene one thing and then afterwards something else. Now I see what that guy means about 85 and all that, but you know what? It's just weird. It's just weird because he's right. There, Cooner goes north and south, and 85 goes north and south, Bromley east and west. Who knows where he was? But it's just, listen, when it comes to accidents, the best thing to do immediately is to take photographs and keep photographs. So, Jay, let's talk about in roofing right now, what products have been discontinued?
The products that have been discontinued?
Yes, the things that when you see, you can't get them anymore. I want to let people know that if they have these roofs, they're going to have special challenges. Not even if they don't have damage now, in the future, they'll have challenges because many times insurance companies fight them.
That's exactly right. T-Lock asphalt shingles would be the #1
T-Lock
item in that category. It's an asphalt roof that was made many years ago before they had invented
I thought T-Lock was a good idea. It was supposed to be wind resistant.
Back in the day, it was a great idea, but that was before they had the tar strip on shingles that would seal them down.
Okay.
Then they invented the tar strip that all melts together, and that's what keeps the roof from blowing off.
Okay.
So T-locks are no longer available.
What else?
There's a concrete tile manufacturer that went out of business here.
West Tech?
Yep, you got it. West Tile is who it is. And so if somebody has a West Tile roof and those...
What happens now if you get partial damage with West Tile? Will they replace the whole roof?
It depends upon the roof. It depends on how bad the condition is, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But what we can do, we can take off a small part of the roof in the back, use those tiles to repair the rest of the roof, and then use a different manufacturer with a pretty close color on the back of the roof.
Oh, that's good.
So,
are there any others that you recall that are discontinued?
Those are the two main ones right there. There's been a whole slew of bad manufacturers in the past that aren't available.
Now, is there any roof that you would just never use as a professional? I want people to know.
It depends upon the structure of the house.
Yeah, but I'm asking you, is there one that you shy away from no matter what? Is there a manufacturer or a roof that you shy away from?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
There's ones that I
don't
really
want to force it.
If somebody wants a concrete tile roof, I like Boral. If somebody wants an asphalt shingle, I like Owens Corning. There are some manufacturers.
Okay, why do you like Owens Corning?
Because I think they make the best shingle. I think they stick down better than any of the other ones.
Okay.
And I think their customer service is
And with concrete, why do you like Boral?
Boral, it's made out in Henderson, Colorado. They have a new facility, and it's really state-of-the-art. I say new. It's about maybe 10 years old now.
Okay.
But they make a great product, and it holds up. Their customer service is good. So not only do I judge the type of material, but also the company backing it.
All right, what about ceramic tile? Or is there such a thing really anymore?
There is, but we don't use very much ceramic tile around here.
Okay, what are some other roofs then?
Metal roofs is what
kind of metal do you like?
Stone-coated steel is one of the more popular roofs for residential houses.
Stone-coated steel is not a brand, it's a type.
It's a type of roofing material. What they do is they make sheets of metal, they stamp the roofing profile into it, and then they glue the granules on. It's the same exact granules that are used on asphalt shingles.
All right.
Those are pretty good, but they can get damaged when people walk on it. So there's no perfect roof, though, when I tell people.
Terry fell through the cracks, basically, because we were going to talk to him about replacing half of the roof. I think he's the one that's been waiting, and I'm very sorry. We'll come right back to him and more coming up, because that's a very important question. If you guys have any questions, give us a call. We have lines open right now at 303-713-TALK. I'll tell you, one of the more popular questions we get is for David Salisbury, attorney at law. Seriously, he does estate planning and probate and all the associated law. So we love going over some of the questions we get from time to time, and one of them that often comes up, marital status and estate planning. David.
Tom, the only party in the state who you cannot disinherit, if you will, you have to leave something to, is your spouse.
You must.
What percentage is based on how long you've been married? If it's 10 years or more, your spouse is entitled to 50%. But I get people in the office where they're not legally or licensed married, but you then have to ask them questions, because we have rules regarding what things would tell you that these people are married even though they don't have a license. For example, the biggest one is, do you hold yourself out to the community as being married? If you ask your next-door neighbor, would they say, oh, yeah, that couple is married? That's not a good one, but there are a number of factors, and I just bring it up because you've got to make that determination before the attorney can do a proper job of putting it down on paper.
Now, if you don't say you're married, or if you're not legally married, can someone contest it later on saying, I was married?
Yes, you can, and I've had that happen a number of times, where someone dies and now all of a sudden the partner says, oh, no, we were common law married and I deserve a portion of the estate. And then you just end up into a big argument and possibly litigation.
All right, that's David Salisbury, attorney at law. You can find him on my referral list at referralist.com. Here's where you find Salisbury, David. It's Salsbury. Just search it on the referral list, 720-493-3911. He's brilliant when it comes to your estate planning, wills, probate. We love him. We use him all the time as our expert, 720-493-3911. Another guy that we love, Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. I cannot tell you how many good reviews we get about the guy. You know, we limit the number of reviews on the referral list because we get so many, but I'm telling you that, and then we rotate them through, they're all positive. They're all wonderful. Here's one of the most common kinds of reviews. I can't believe he gave me this much attention. You will feel like you're his only client. 303-920-1622. If you are buying or selling real estate, Frank Duran, therealestateman.com.
This report is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Couple of crashes, a couple of slow spots. Watch out for wrecks southbound I-25 at Park Avenue, backups to 58th. Northbound I-25 slow on the north end between 120th and 136th. Also downtown northbound slow between pretty much Alameda heading up towards Colfax. Crash on the westbound side of I-70 at Colorado in the cleanup stages. Watch out for delays there. Auto pedestrian accident off Highway Spear and Broadway. If you can, just avoid the area. The weather forecast: afternoon thunderstorms today with a high of 87 tonight. Thunderstorms in spots early on and a low of 58. Right now,
your roof should be able to hold 15 pounds per square foot dead load. So we're 2/3 of the way there. And then it should be able to hold another 30 pounds per square foot of live load, snow and everything else. So it should be able to hold 45 pounds a square. So
if you're looking for floor coverings, Paradigm. I love these guys. Paradigm, they have such a mixture in their place. What I mean by that is, at first you feel like you're in a big warehouse because you walk in and they have all of these displays and beautiful selections. Then somebody comes up to you and starts talking to you, and they spend time with you, and they're helping you with design, and you think, wow, this is just a small, like, sole proprietorship, and I'm the only guy here right now. And then they start talking about installation and scheduling, and then you think, these guys have it together. They're a great company, and they must do this, and they must be a really big company with so many installations. But then you figure out, wait, they can meet my schedule, they can be on my deadline, they're going to have a supervisor, an employee, a construction supervisor just for me. This has to be unique. Well, they are. They're big and they're small. They're both, and they're a hybrid. That's what I call them, a hybrid of great pricing when it comes to your selection, and so much selection, quality flooring. All first products, no seconds or thirds like some of these warehouses. They have tile and hardwood and laminates and vinyl luxury tile, which I love, and they have completely waterproof carpeting. I just bought a carpet from them. I love the entire process. They're quick, they're efficient, they're convenient. You just drive west on Evans and you'll find them right there on the right, just west of Santa Fe, and you can find them on the right at the corner of Pecos and Evans. Plenty of parking. Give them a call, 303-630-9204. 303-630-9204. Flooring Denver.
Talking about the issues you care about. Denver's Talk Station. 630 KHOW.
Okay. Let's talk. 303-713-TALK. Terry, okay, you say the insurance company will only pay for the part of your roof that you have two kinds of roof, right? You have a flat type roof, and then you have a regular roof, right?
Yes, I have shingles and a modified
bitumen
roof that has a slight slope on it.
Right, and so that's more of a flat roof, and and they will replace the sloped part, but not the flat part.
Yes.
And that's common, Jay, is it? Because those roofs are harder to damage, right?
The modified bitumen roofs are pretty bulletproof, so
okay,
they are
so
harder to damage.
In a case like this, are there any problems?
In terms of the insurance?
In terms of just getting half of it done. Should he demand the whole thing, or is there a problem marrying the two together? What is your concern, I guess I should ask Terry?
Well, they were both put in at the same time, and I did have a leak occur on the modified that I got up and patched. It had come separated.
But it's not because of the storm, though.
It was during the storm that the leak happened with the hail.
Are you would love to get them both replaced. I understand that.
Yes.
Can he make an argument that if it was leaking, it's bad? But see, that could be a warranty issue. Not a warranty. I mean, what's called a maintenance issue. Just because it's leaking, Terry, doesn't mean it was part. It could even be leaking because of the storm, but it doesn't mean the storm caused it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So we don't know. I mean, Jay could take a look at it and tell you in a hurry.
When we get up and we take a look at a modified bitumen roof that's associated with an asphalt roof, we're looking for damage from the hail. If we can see bruises on the modified bitumen from the hail, or if something has happened because of the storm damage, then the insurance should pay for it. But most of the time, the modified is pretty bulletproof, and it's hard to find any kind of hail damage.
Yeah, what do you care if it's a good roof? Why would you want it? I mean, even though it's old, how long do they last, Jay?
They usually last 10, 15 years. It sounds like
10? It would last more than 10. One of those?
It depends. He says he's having problems with the seams. How long has that roof been up there, Terry?
7 years.
7 years? I don't think those seams should have come apart yet.
You know, you ought to just see if they're done right and have them look at it. Can those be, let's say the seams aren't perfect, can you redo them or you have to do the whole roof?
Oftentimes the seams can be re-welded with a hot air gun or some tar, something like that.
And can you lay a new one over the old one if you had to? Or do you have to strip it?
Most building departments are going to require us to strip that all the way down to the decking.
Why? Why?
Because it's the updated codes. And what we have found out in the Denver metro area, and this is one of the ways where our thinking has changed. In prior years, we thought more layers of asphalt roof were more protection. But what we have discovered is the more layers of asphalt roof that you have on your house, the more susceptible it is to hail damage. Smaller hail will total it easier.
Why?
It's because
because you don't have a rigid back.
Exactly. You want that hard, rigid back of the plywood or the OSB underneath the shingles, and that's what causes them to be more hail resistant.
So, Terry, any questions?
Nope, it sounds the insurance company's right, and I've had guys look at it. There's no damage. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get it replaced anyway on my nickel because it just.
Now, Jay, did they get a discount if you're doing it at the same time and you're out there anyway? I mean, is there any kind of discount because he's doing it?
On deals like that, we would certainly try to give him the best pricing possible on that modified bitumen when he's having to pay for it out of his pocket. So, yes.
Okay. 303-761-6400. What I hear him saying is, if it's, if he doesn't have to screw with insurance and it's a straight up pay when he's done from you, you're going to get a discount. All right. Denise, welcome. What's going on with you? Denise?
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Hi, Tom.
What's happening?
We had a gentleman come to our door, and my husband usually doesn't deal with people that come to the door, but he told us he did this driveway next door.
Yeah.
Several years ago.
That's one of the come-ons they usually do.
Right.
So what did you have done?
Well, we had a double driveway done.
Is it concrete or is it tar? Not tar, asphalt.
It's concrete.
Okay. So you had the driveway. What size would you say it is?
It's a long double car, and then they did a sidewalk along the front of the house, going from the front.
So it's about 12 feet wide, would you say? Approximately. What did you pay for this job?
We paid $10,800.
$10,800, and you had the driveway plus some walkways. How much walk?
Walkways, the front porch, and then they took a section.
What do you mean the front porch? What do you mean that?
The whole front stoop. They knocked it out and put a whole new one on.
So a big block of concrete. Did they put dirt? Was there dirt under it? Or did they form it with wood? How did they do that?
I don't know because we didn't see any of it until after they poured it.
You didn't see any of it. You didn't see them forming it up at all.
No, they came, formed it, poured it. And we're out of here.
So what's the problem?
Well, the problem is...
I mean, you got a lot of work done. The price isn't a problem. You got a lot of work done. If you had the driveway plus the stoop plus the walkway, the sidewalk...
The price was not the issue.
Yeah.
The issue is the job.
What's the problem? Cracking?
It's a horrible job to begin with.
Wait. What makes it horrible? What makes it horrible?
There are areas they had to come back and we had to make them patch. I mean,
but what immediately made it horrible? Did it look bad, or are you talking about after a while?
Well, part of it is they poured it right before it rained and snowed.
All right, let's get right to it then.
They were going to put the guy.
Let's get right to it. What are the problems? What are they?
Well, the whole driveway is stained because they put plastic tarps over it before it rained and snowed. So now the control joints, the majority of the control joints are cracked.
Well, they're supposed to crack inside the control joint. Do they go outside the control joint?
Well, no, but they're not just hairline cracks. They're open cracks, which we were told we had to put silicone in.
Well, how far open are they?
Well, you could put a nickel in them.
Okay, well, just remember,
the nickel in 'em.
expansion joints, people get bent out of shape sometimes when expansion joints show cracking. Now, you don't want to see giant big cracks, but you know, if you're going to have cracks and they did it the right way, they will be in the expansion joints. They won't be outside.
Right. But we had talked to one of the concrete people on your referral, and
Yeah.
they said they should only be, at 1 week old, they should only be a hairline fracture.
Okay, and who did you talk to on the list?
We needed to put silicone in it.
Who did you talk to on the list?
Sherritt Construction.
Yeah, they're pretty darn good. Yeah, okay.
And then we got a crack from our window well on the sidewalk by the house.
Yeah.
From the window well all the way out is a crack all the way across.
Do you have any photographs of all this?
I have a photograph of the crack.
Yeah, I'd like to photograph as much as possible because I also would like to get one of our experts to look at it.
Okay. And
So
then
could you-
we had
Go
when
ahead.
we had the crack in the sidewalk, they said they were just going to put cement glue
Well,
in it.
it depends. I mean, okay, first of all, it shouldn't really be cracking so soon. I don't know how they prepared the soil or anything. That's why I would like to get somebody, an expert, before you go after these guys. These guys that came there, what's the name of the company?
It's Rio Exteriors.
Okay, and what did they say they're going to do about it?
Well, can I let you? Sherrick actually came out and
Oh, they
looked at
did?
this crack for me, and he said, first of all, the crack, yes, it's a problem, but that whole sidewalk is at the wrong pitch. They have all your water draining back into that window well. He said.
Well,
that
see,
is-
God, but see, here's the problem with that. They probably followed your general landscaping. I need to, can we talk to Sherrick? Can you try to get Sherrick on, the one who looked at it? Let's just ask. This sucks, man. Concrete is one of the worst problems we have, one of the worst. Jim, what is your comment or problem, Jim?
Yes, I'm looking at building a custom home, and I want to put solar panels. Do I stay away from concrete tile, and do I go with
Good question.
a shingle roof?
Good question.
If I were you, Jim, I would put an asphalt shingle roof on that house. It's gonna You're gonna be able to walk on it much easier and not have to worry about breaking the tiles.
That's true. I mean, concrete's wonderful, but you always have to worry about it. As far as
Thank you very much.
As far as people go. All right, we have to take a quick break. So, Plumline Services is one of our trusted providers and sponsors here on the show. I've known them from the very, very beginning. And right now, it's really important that you avail yourself of their free second opinions. Now, listen, this is not a gimmick. This takes time and it takes money, but they're not charging a dime. And you may say, oh, well, they just want to get out here and see what we have. And you don't even have to show them your price. They don't care about your price. I mean, just tell them what they said was wrong and what you need. They're not there to try to hustle you. Now, they'd love to be your company, but truly, we have found cases where people were told they need things that they don't need. So if you're told you need a furnace or an AC or a water system, or something's wrong with maybe you have a septic system or your drain line or electric or your electrical panel, they will come out for any major repair and give a free second opinion, not so much as even a call charge, and they will leave you with a complete written report. 303-586-1086. You cannot beat that. 303-586-1086. PlumlineServices.com.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
There's a few
Spots to be aware of on the highway drive in the metro area.
What's that, sir?
Northbound
That's all of them.
Colfax crash there.
15 minutes of nothing. How many was it? 14. 14 in 1 hour. For the third hour only. You want to know how many spots in the show today? There are 14. Well, 14 just in the whole show. No. Oh no, you're talking about 1 hour. Yeah.
You it was 25 or 30. You were cranking them out.
My show will run easily, spots-wise, easily 38 spots.
38 lives?
No. No, lives could be as many as 30.
I bet you did 25 or 30 today.
Like even the first hour, those were lives I...
Want to hire the best
salesperson.
But I record them right before.
ZipRecruiter.com. ZipRecruiter doesn't wait for candidates to find you. It finds them. It's powerful.
I don't have to do anything, do I?
So concrete does crack if you walk on it, just like cedar would, just like.
Well, cedar doesn't do much.
Yeah, it gets brittle here.
Cedar shakes?
Just break.
But it's, you walk on an old cedar shake roof, it's
Well,
like
brand new one.
like
Well,
tater
yeah.
shakes.
Yeah, brand new one, but those things are really
I
tall.
hate cedar.
Oh,
You know what?
absolutely.
When I had tile, I have beautiful tile roofs. I had to fucking every time somebody went up there, you have to know where to walk.
Oh, you're talking like the Adobe tile stuff.
Are you
right?
talking
mine wasn't round.
Are you talking the Spanish tile we put on for you?
Where was that house?
In down there in Frank County? Parker, Franktown, whatever?
In Franktown, I thought I had.
But you had those asphalt shingles, remember? You had those crazy
copper ones.
You had those crazy copper shingles, and then they were falling
They
apart.
were beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. I remember you sprayed
started
them.
delaminating.
You sprayed them with the acid to make them turn green, and then they delaminated and
Oh,
made the
wow.
gutters.
Wow. So stupid. Anyway, so what did you put on
We
it?
put on that big Spanish tile. Remember, that was beautiful. No, concrete tile.
Oh, you're right. It was gorgeous.
Green. But remember, you had those little gutters, and you wanted to stick with them, and you and I kept going back and forth. He had these little gutters on from who was it, Leaf Guard? And they kept telling him, oh, don't worry, Tom, they'll work.
You mean the ones with the covers?
Yeah. And I kept telling him, no, they're not going to work. We kept going back, and then he kept
They would
calling
all shoot up.
he kept calling
The water
me.
would go around.
So I finally, Tom was getting frustrated because they kept giving him the runaround. And I was like, it's going to look like
I just
100
find it
midgets
just-
pissing off your roof. You don't replace it.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter.
Jay, how many roofs have you done for me? So you did how many there? One there in Franktown, right?
We did the Franktown roof. We
Beautiful
took the asphalt off, and we put the concrete tile on, and that was a beautiful
And then you
Spanish
did.
tile
Then you
roof.
did another house I had. You did a lot of repairs for me, but you've done at least 3 that I know.
We've done 3 roofs.
At
and we
least.
have done a lot of repairs. You know, it was the one over there in
And not one of them
Littleton.
was insurance, damn it.
The
Not one of them.
Littleton house. Remember, we were inspecting that one for you, and,
Yes.
and there was no insulation in it, and there was no ventilation either.
No ventilation. Yeah, you took care of all of that, and that brings up a point really quickly. Roof systems. There's more than just roofs. There's a system. There's a system for taking in air and expelling air and keeping the temperature even, because it'll affect your heating and cooling of your entire home. It'll also affect the lifetime of your roof, and they have solutions for that. Even solar-powered attic fans. They have other venting solutions. We did a ridge vent in one of my homes, a complete ridge vent. They do all kinds of stuff. Okay, let's keep going now. What is your question, Miles? Oh, wait, did I leave off with anyone, though? Oh, yes, I did with Denise, but I'll come back to her because I have a method for this. Go ahead, Miles.
Oh, hey, Tom, thanks for taking my call.
Yes.
I wanted to talk to your roofing guy. I had a house that's built in 48, and I had some of those old fiberglass awnings.
You're cutting in and out, Miles. You have an awning.
Yeah, I have 2 awnings that got beat up by the hailstorm.
Yeah.
They're the fiberglass,
Yeah.
what they call greenhouse siding.
Okay.
And I was wondering if there's something more decorative that I could put up there.
Where are these awnings? Over windows?
No, it's over my front porch. It's kind of pitched.
Oh, I
and
see
it's
what
on a
you're
metal
saying.
frame.
They're like
Right,
dormers, you mean, like dormers almost.
Kind of.
No, what are they?
It's going to be a porch roof is what he has
Okay,
over
all
his
right,
front porch.
all right, I understand.
One
All
on
right.
the front, one on the back.
All right, so what about it?
It's the corrugated fiberglass is what it is.
It's ugly.
Are you trying to get any light through it, or what do you want? Do you want the color? Do you want something solid? What are you trying to do, Miles? Okay, his cell phone's breaking up.
Yeah, I know.
Miles, this is what
Here,
I would.
You just got to listen, Miles. I'm sorry.
This is what I would do if I were you. I would take that corrugated fiberglass off of there, and I would put a metal roof on top of that.
That's a good idea.
You can get some
and
corrugated.
they look pretty, and they're decorative, Miles.
Yep.
And plus, yeah, they're really nice.
Because you can get them with the same color underneath and on top. So when you look up from the bottom, you'd see red or green, whatever color you want.
All right,
So that's what I would do.
Did Denise hang up? I was going to. She hung up.
She did not hang up. I went ahead and let her go.
Good. All right. We'll take care of it because I need to talk to Sherrick about what he saw there.
And he was not available, but he did go out, and I will schedule that.
All right, that's great. Thank you. Mildred, hi, how are you? We do have time for one or two questions, possibly. 303-713-TALK. What's going on, Mildred?
Tom, I just wanted to know from your referral list.
Yes.
I want a lawyer.
For what?
Well, my husband has been dealing with staph, and it keeps going away and coming back.
Wait,
so
he has been dealing with what?
Staph infection.
Oh, and so you're going after a doctor?
I don't know.
Is this a malpractice thing you're talking about?
Well, the only way you can get staph is in the hospital.
Not necessarily so. I mean, you can actually... That's not necessarily true. Was he in the hospital?
Yeah, he was.
Okay, where is the staph?
In his knees. He had knee replacement surgery.
Well, then that's obvious, isn't it? He had knee replacement and got staph infection. How long ago was the knee surgery?
2015.
Oh, boy. 2015. Did he get staph right away?
Yeah, pretty close to it. Less than a month. You got staph less than a month, right?
Okay. That's pretty telling right there. But, so that means 2015, 16, 17, you're coming up on...
No, see, what happened was they went in and they cleaned up the one knee that was supposed to have the staph in it.
Yeah.
And they changed the plastic and sewed him back up. Did
they take responsibility for it, or did they charge you for that?
Well, they charged me for that, but this is the third time around. And
your voice sounds so... Have we ever met?
Yeah, I was at the show on
I knew I met you. You teach sewing. Right?
Thank you for remembering, yes.
Of course I do. I remember everything about it. You teach sewing, and you have some students in your class that go to college. We talked about your website, right? Okay.
Exactly.
Well, Mildred, here's the deal, I don't even know how to put this, but unless your husband is absolutely devastated and lost tons of money, a malpractice suit, you're not going to find people to take them. I'm coming straight out and telling you. However, there are things you can do before malpractice, like possibly settlements or discussions. Now, I would call Ben, his name is Bendinelli. I don't know why his first name is escaping me right now. It's Marco. Thank you. Marco Bendinelli. On my referral list, if you look up Marco, you can just put Marco in the search engine, and if Daphne did her job, it'll come up because she puts in all those tags. Marco Bendinelli. And here's the other thing. He will talk to you about it, but I just want to warn you, Mildred, I'm telling you that malpractice suits, out of 100 people who think they have malpractice, you have 50, let's say, that truly have been injured, truly by the negligence of a medical professional, but then out of those 50, probably only one has a case worth pursuing. That's how difficult they are, because the damages have to be such that it's worth it, because you have to have experts and all of that. However, if you have an attorney like Marco or someone who can write well-placed letters and threaten them, many times you might be able to get something to help out your situation. Mildred, has he been told that he has staph infection as a result of the surgery? Has anyone actually told him that? We know it's obvious, but has he ever been told that?
No.
Okay. Did you need to have, before you begin, you need a doctor to say what happened and why, or get copies of his medical records? If I were you, that's the first thing I would do. You can call Marco Bendinelli, but I'd get copies of his medical records from back when he had the surgery. And then you need to know if they made a connection back then. Thank you very much for joining us. Remember, we're live on YouTube, live on Facebook, live on iHeart. You can also stream on all those services anytime you want live. And referrallist.com, of course. Don't forget, save all your problems for me.
If you want luxury countertops at wholesale prices, you need to call Art of Granite. And when they remodel your kitchen, they're going to do your bathroom vanity for absolutely nothing. Call them at 303-386-5919 or go online, artofgranite.net.
Are you having a bar?
Your mother.